Now on YouTube, it's time for some alternative commentary action with the Commentary Hub.
There's headed by Marina, and it's 2-1 to Arsenal.
Look at that point! Goal for Manchester City!
Takes this corner, whips it in, it's headed and it's a goal, and it's that man, Gabriel.
Liverpool have equalised. Lovely improvisational touch from Curtis Jones.
Oh, what a goal! Wow, take it out! Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending where you are across the world, and welcome to FA Cup on TCHub Live. I'm your host, Russ, for this game today in the FA Cup final between Chelsea and Manchester City. We've got a star-studded lineup for you today. In the commentary positions, we've got Paul James and Alex Peters. We'll head to them very, very shortly. We've already heard Alex and Paul on the mic this season here on the commentary. Our man doing the graphics and the producing behind the scenes is our very own Nicholas Jones. He's with us as well. But the man making his TCHub debut this afternoon is a very warm TCHub welcome to our pundit, Ben McCarthy. I'm going to get to Ben in just a second. But first of all, we've got some news coming out of Manchester United earlier today ahead of this game, which is Manchester United obviously in the Premier League, qualified for the Champions League next season under Michael Carrick. And it was news on Michael Carrick after he has agreed with Manchester United a deal to become the permanent head coach, having been the interim since the replacement of Ruben Amorim. Carrick has agreed an initial 2-year deal with an option of a third year, and the announcement is expected in the next 48 hours. That's just been Ben on that news from earlier today. And Ben, what do you make to that news then? Do you think it's the right decision for Manchester United giving Michael Carrick the permanent manager's job for next season?
In terms of the criteria set out for Michael Carrick, it was to get Champions League football, and United couldn't have hoped better for that, really. So on that evidence, I would absolutely say that the decision is justified, but there is the parallels, let's say, to players or managers of the past. We think back to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer back in 2018 and 2019 when his interim role was extended into a full-time role, and it didn't quite work in the long term. So where United are, and that is a fantastic position of third in the Premier League at the moment, or in the Champions League spaces, you would say that it's the sensible decision, but is there something more ambitious they could have done? The managerial market, I would not argue, is saturated. There's always rumours about likes of Julian Nagelsmann looking for a job. But I would say it's a safe decision and a justified decision given what he's accomplished in the last few months. But in the long term, that's where I'd say it's a risk.
Yes, absolutely, Ben, absolutely. We're just going to bring you on to today's game. Obviously, you can see them, Chelsea against Manchester City. Two players who are involved in the squad for Manchester City. We're going to say who's starting and who's on the bench. But two players who are leaving the club this season. Bernardo Silva and John Stones have announced they're going to be leaving Manchester City at the end of the season. How big a miss do you think it would be for both of those two players for Manchester City going into next season?
I would say it's particularly with the case of Bernardo Silva. Even in this season, I mean, he's the captain of the side, so he's a massive presence and impact both on and off the field. So I would say that actually even replacing him is going to be a struggle going into next season. John Stones, I would say that was a given the amount of injuries and the lack of playing time that he's had pretty much since City won the Champions League back in 2023. He's been beleaguered by injuries, and ultimately when you're paying a player a wage, you want them to be as active as they can be, and it's not the fault of John Stones. Injuries have just not been kind to him, but it feels like a sensible decision. But on the case of Bernardo Silva, that is where they're going to have a tougher time replacing him, not just of the quality that he brings on the pitch, but the tenacity that comes from his mentality. That's going to be difficult to replace.
Absolutely, Ben, absolutely. Just before we continue with Ben in the build-up, let's just bring Alex in on that. Alex, how do you, looking at Bernardo Silva and John Stones who are leaving at the end of the season. What do you make to them? Do you think those two will be big misses for Manchester City coming into next season? And Alex is the co-commentator for today's game.
Yeah, thanks, Russ. Massive misses for Manchester City going into next season. We've seen what it's been like for Pep trying to mould new players into the side this season. And while they have obviously been challenging for the title and they've won the FA Cup and they're in the FA Cup final today, there's been inconsistencies with Manchester City, and losing the experience of John Stones and Bernardo Silva, you're definitely going to see that next season. But they've both been great servants of the club, and they'll be hoping to finish this season with at least another form of silverware, whether that be the FA Cup or that be the Premier League.
Yes, still in the title race in the Premier League of Manchester City. Will bring Alex back in just a little bit. In the Premier League title race. Obviously, it looks like it's going to go down to the final day of the Premier League, which will be next weekend. Hopefully, we'll have a game for you going out either live or delayed next weekend from the Premier League in the title race, one of the either the Arsenal or Man City game. But Ben, do you feel like Man City, if they were to get over the line in this game today, could have the edge and potentially and win the game in midweek against Bournemouth, have the edge and get over the line for the Premier League title, or do you feel is Arsenal's title to lose now?
I mean, factually, it is Arsenal's title to lose. If they win both of their games, they're champions. It doesn't matter if Manchester City, regardless of today's result, then obliterate Bournemouth and Aston Villa next week. If Arsenal get 6 points out of 6, then the league title is theirs. But can City maybe send a statement through beating Chelsea, who, as we'll get on later on in the commentary, they haven't been in the best of form despite reaching this FA Cup final. So I would say for Manchester City, they've just got to control what they can control. And what they can control today is another piece of history for them. It's an FA Cup. It would be Pep's third at the club, and he's lost the last 2 finals. So there's plenty at stake, and I wouldn't say the Premier League is really what they're thinking about. Guardiola's quite frequent in how he goes about his mentality in the media. But I would say City right now, whether they win today or not, the Premier League not only is not in their control or hands, it's not even on their mind.
Yes, you're probably right there, Ben. Probably right with that there. Just a quick one before we get it over to our commentary team. Ahead of kick-off in what's going to be a big game here at Wembley Stadium today. Looking at the two managers then, briefly, the Callum McFarlane come in after Liam Senior got sacked. He's steadied the ship for a couple bit, obviously not doing very well in the league, but steadied the ship and have them winning the FA Cup against Leeds to get to the final and put some decent performances together since that game against Leeds United in the FA Cup to get to this final. They lost to Forest, but then drew with Liverpool last time out. Do you feel like, actually, 2 managers, who do you think is going to be feeling more confident going into this one today, Ben? If we were to play Shava, will it be Callum McFarlane or will it be Pep Guardiola?
I mean, I would expect Pep Guardiola is going to be, without doubt, the more confident. But I think what we've got to think back to is when Chelsea last faced Manchester City, when McFarlane was in interim charge for Chelsea back in January. They drew 1-1, Chelsea nicking a late equaliser at the Etihad through Enzo Fernandez. And that will give McFarlane some not motivation, but maybe some hope that regardless of the difference in experience and the difference in pedigree, that in one-off games, Manchester City are vulnerable, and Chelsea, if they're on their game and on their day, they can cause some problems. And McFarlane, having had first-hand experience at that, I think that will give him a little bit of confidence. It's still going to be Pep Guardiola who's the more confident of the two, though.
Yes, absolutely, Ben, absolutely. And Ben, if I were to just play shit for one final thing before we hand over to our commentary team with the players out on the game to come out onto the field in a second. I've heard question for a score prediction today. Ben, what are you going for?
I am going to go for 2-0 to Manchester City. I think it will be a tight game. I don't think it will be a dominant 2-0. I think Chelsea can be quite compact in defence, but I think when you look at what you can see on the screen at the moment, the players that Manchester City have, your Bernardo Silvas, even your Jeremy Dokus, and of course Erling Haaland, I think that's what's going to carry them over the line today.
Yes, thank you very much there, Ben. We'll get more from Ben McCarthy during our half-time coverage here on the Commentary Hub. Just before we hand over to our commentary team, just bring in Alex Peters. And Alex, your prediction for today's game, mate? Do you think like Ben City's going to win 2-0, or do you think it's going to be a tighter one and it could go either way for you today, Alex?
I do think the same as Ben. I do think a Manchester City win, but I'm going with a slightly different scoreline of 3-1 to Man City.
Thank you very much there, Alex. And now, without any further ado, it's time for me to hand over to your Matchday commentary team. Alex Peters, but first, Paul James.
Good afternoon and welcome to Wembley Stadium for the final of the oldest sporting competition in the world. It's back to the rafters. You recently just had Abide With Me playing, thundering around Wembley Stadium, a tradition that has gone on at Wembley Stadium for many a decade. Players are now onto the pitch, and these two teams have FA Cup history. They've in fact met each other 9 times in the competition, with City winning 6 of those 9. There is His Royal Highness Prince William just shaking the hands of the players. An avid football fan, of course, supporter of Aston Villa. Well, Alex, you mentioned the prediction today at 3-1. Who do you feel, just in your mind, we've got the interim manager in of Callum McFarlane, but what do you think should be Chelsea's next step towards a permanent manager? They've gone down the young manager route, the young up-and-coming manager route, and it's not worked. So where do you think is the next step for Chelsea and the search for a new manager?
Great question, Paul. I think in terms of Chelsea, you need somebody who you know is going to come in and stabilise the ship. Unfortunately, with a manager like Liam Rosignol, you're bringing him over from Strasbourg, and albeit he was doing well with Strasbourg, he's not had that experience in the top echelon of modern football. So Chelsea need a manager like that, but it's tough. In the market, there's not many managers who fit that description, you know. If they are, they're already at a club. If not, you obviously have the World Cup coming up this summer as well, so you're going to find a lot of managers tied up with that, not being available for pre-season. And in this case of Chelsea, you may have a repeat of the same issues you've had this season. So it's hard. You need that experienced manager, somebody who the players will respect and look up to, but a lot of issues seem to be with the players and the squad and the way they refer to managers. Of course, there was rumours of calling Liam Rosignol a substitute teacher. So that stability is essential for Chelsea if they want to progress and win the trophies they are more than deserved of.
So really, would you argue that the players' mentality needs to change more than anything else? I mean, if you have somebody coming in, whoever it might be, they may be equally as disrespectful. Do you feel the players' mentality might need to change here?
Definitely. I think if you look at Manchester United, who had similar issues with managers being respected, of course, you've then brought in a player or manager such as Michael Carrick, who has so many ties to the club and has that experience of winning titles with Manchester United. And the players have respected that. They're all vouching for him. They all want him to stay. And of course, of the news that we've seen today, it looks like that he will be continuing his tenure at Manchester United. And it's hard to find a player that fits that description for Chelsea. Somebody at the past, obviously they've had Frank Lampard come in and that didn't end so well. So it's tough. I think Chelsea, whoever they do pick, they need to be certain in their decision and certain that they're going to stick with their manager for the next few seasons to come.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, actually. Going on to today's game, we can see Manchester City, they lose Bernardo Silva and John Stone at the end of this season, as Russ alluded to earlier. For Manchester City now, knowing the league title is out of their hands, this FA Cup game could be only the second trophy that they win. But it does seem the fact that the league would certainly be one that they won. But how important is this FA Cup to Manchester City, do you think?
Yeah, I think if you're looking in terms of Pep Guardiola, who's recently spoken about them wanting to finish the season with more trophies. Obviously, they had the trophyless campaign last season. They were in the FA Cup final last season, losing out to Manchester City. And who knows if this may be his last season with the club. If so, he's going to want to finish on a high. He's going to want to win this final, and he's going to want to add more trophies to his impressive cabinet.
Yes, what a job he's done at Manchester City. No doubt in my opinion, the best manager in the game right now. Well, Alex, we've got our first job to do with the day. Let's take a look at the starting lineups. Starting first with Chelsea, they line up with Robert Sanchez in goal. Wesley Fofana, Levi Colwill, Yoel Hato and Malo Gusto are the back four. Moises Caicedo and Reece James wearing the armband today, holding the midfield. Marc Cucurella in an advanced position today, attacking midfield on the left-hand side, along with Enzo Fernandez and Cole Palmer playing behind 15 goal scorer João Pedro. For Manchester City, an embarrassment of riches, really. James Trafford keeps his position in goal as he has throughout the FA Cup. Nico O'Reilly, Mark Gahey, Abdulkadir Kasanov and Mateus Nunes are the back four. The ever-reliable Bernardo Silva and Rodri stepping back into the lineup today, with Jeremy Doku, Omar Mamouche and Antoine Semenyo behind 22 goal scorer Erling Haaland. And, well, our officials today, they are Darren England from Doncaster, Tim Wood and Akhil Housen are on the lines, Sam Barrett's on fourth official duty. In Stockley Park, should we need them, is Peter Banks, Nick Hopton and Steve Meredith. Take a look at the goalkeeping stats here. If we can bring those up. Let's take a look here. First of all at Robert Sanchez. Well, Robert Sanchez has just under 1.5 goals against per game with a 67% save percentage. Sanchez has been stellar in goal for Chelsea in what has been sometimes a very, very shaky defence. For Manchester City, James Trafford, well, it's been a bit of a different scenario for James Trafford. Only been playing in the FA Cup, 1.33 goals against average, but his save percentage has been extremely impressive at 79%. Well, the two players just huddling together now for the final preparations for this game. You've predicted 3-1, Alex, and you're sticking by that, I assume?
Sticking by it, yeah. I think there's going to be some interesting matchups today, especially on the wings with Marc Cucurella playing that advanced role and the form that Jeremy Doku's in for Man City. But I do see City winning this. I see 3-1. What about you, Paul?
Well, that's a really good question. I was going to try and stay on the fence on this, but I actually agree with Ben. I think it's going to be a 2-0 victory for Manchester City. I think Chelsea have just struggled so much, since winning that Club World Cup. It really has been very much free fall for Chelsea, down in 9th in the league now as well, way out of the Champions League place. We're about to get the game underway now with Cole Palmer. Both teams in their traditional colours. Chelsea attacking the goal to our left in their blue shirts, blue shorts, blue socks. City in their sky blue shirts, white shorts and sky blue socks. Surprised that we have not needed a shirt change today. We're underway, kick off, and it goes all the way back to the goalkeeper and cleared downfield by Robert Sanchez. And picking up the ball here is Semenyo on the halfway line, attacking down the left-hand side. He drops the ball back, and it's straight back to Abdulkadir Kasanov. Nunes plays it to Semenyo now. It's going to be a real battle between Semenyo and Cucurella down that right-hand side. It'd be interesting to see how those two match up against each other. And here is Semenyo again for Manchester City. It's just dispossessed that time, but City win the ball back. Here's Nunes. Good ball down the right-hand side. It's now back with Nunes again. And across to Kusanov. City just backtracking a little bit at the moment. Gahey now. And they're being pressed back at Manchester City towards their own penalty area. Good play by Chelsea. Mateus Nunes. We'll get at the early thoughts from Alex in just a moment here. As the ball is played out wide here to Nico O'Reilly. O'Reilly forward to Doku. Doku just trying to escape the challenge of Gusto, but it's not worked out. Chelsea have possession. Good challenge there by Gusto. They play the ball back into their own half of the field. And over on this far side here is Colwell playing the ball forward, and it's comfortably picked up by Gahey. Alex, early on here, you can see Chelsea just pressing City a little bit.
Yeah, City keeping the ball well, which is to be expected. I do think they'll have more of the ball today, but Chelsea, if they want to get anything from the game, is going to rely on their press, and how Callum McFarlane has set them up today is going to be really interesting to see if they can pick the ball off City. But yeah, City with possession at the moment. I expect more of the same for this first half.
All right, well, the ball is played forward there for Rodri. Rodri backtracks and then goes back to the goalkeeper from Mark Gahey. James Trafford, an early touch of the ball. Of course, I remember the days where the goalkeeper would just pick up the ball, have a good feel of the ball, and then clear it downfield. Well, you can't do that anymore. The ball is played down the left-hand side, looking for the chasing Jeremy Doku, but the ball is over the top, goes straight through to Robert Sanchez. He's wearing head protection today. He's got something similar to what Petr Cech had when he was at Chelsea following that horrific injury. It's cleared downfield, and the header is chopped on there, picked up on the halfway line, and it's down to Marc Cucurella. Cucurella backtracks, plenty of passing early on, nobody really going anywhere, Alex, at the moment.
No, it's kind of been a tepid start to this final, which is expected, really. You know, Chelsea, with all their vulnerabilities as of late and their recent form, they're not going to want to risk too much or show too much to City, who only beat Crystal Palace 3-0 in midweek. So they're well in form. Chelsea, they're just going to take a slow start and not take any risks early doors. That's what I'd imagine, Paul.
Only, he says. Almost seems that way, though, doesn't it, with the way Manchester City have been in the second half of the season. They've played very, very well, very tough to beat. And here's Kusanov now in the centre circle. Kusanov is going to play the ball short here to Rodri. And City, once again, adopting this policy of maintaining possession but not really going anywhere. And it's basically this style of play, Alex, has received wide criticism from football fans up and down the country, but it's effective for Pep, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. And I think with the players that he has available to him at the moment, you know, this isn't the treble winning City side of the past where every player knows their position and the team in itself can execute everything that they want to do. But no, I think these kind of slow starts are what we've become accustomed to from Pep in recent years, just sort of keeping a hold of the ball, not letting it go too easy. And, you know, with players such as Ryan Cherky, who obviously like to take the risks and be a bit more explosive with their dribbling and play. Yeah, it's not anything like that at the moment, but I think he'll have his opportunity in this game.
Here's Cucurella, though. He's away down the left-hand side. Can he get a crossing, Cucurella? No, he was challenged by Mateus Nunes. He's waving his arms at the referee. It looks like Mateus Nunes made some contact with Cucurella there. But, Alex, do you think that was just more of a shoulder, really, than anything else?
Yeah, I do, Paul. I think he's just out-muscled in there. There's not really too much in it. It's kind of the first sort of break that we've actually seen in this opening 5 minutes. So, yeah, I think it was just a simple case of being out-muscled there by Cucurella.
I got excited for a moment. I thought we were going to see a crossing or something.
More to come, Paul. Hold the faith.
Yeah. Here's Rodri for Manchester City. Just holds the ball up there. And he's going to play the ball across to Doku. Doku holding it back. It's a long ball over the top, looking for the chasing Omar Mamouche, but that's really read well by Wesley Fofana. And here's Gusto, just drops the ball back to the goalkeeper. Downfield there by Robert Sanchez, back in the squad today. He's had some injury troubles this season, hence the headgear. But he's fit for the final, and now City coming forward. Good ball out wide. Here's Semenyo. Semenyo checks inside. Big, strong. There is Semenyo. Plays the ball into the middle, and the touch on, I think, is by Omar Mamouche. Indeed it was. He just didn't get a good connection on there, but that was a really good run by Antoine Semenyo. He's so big and strong and quick. He's very difficult to deal with, isn't he?
Yeah, when he gets going like that, Paul, it's not many defenders in the world that can stop him. He obviously got a goal midweek and he'll be hoping to do the same today, to be honest. But that's the first real attack that we've seen from City, and I expect it to come from his side, to be honest. So yeah, he'll be hoping for more opportunities like that.
Yeah, it's probably. I have to agree with you. It's extremely difficult. I wouldn't want to defend against him. Ball played forward there to Mamouche. Mamouche gives the ball away, but the referee has stopped play for a challenge here. Darren England giving a free kick to Manchester City. Let's just take a look at this again. Yes, stood on on Bernardo Silva's toes, and that's a part of the boot that's not really protected. I expect that was quite painful.
Yeah, sharp pain injuries like that, just coming down on his foot, but nothing too serious. Quite innocuous challenge in itself, and City have an opportunity from about 30 yards here now, Paul.
Yeah, they've got a free kick committee set up here with Semenyo, Kusanov and Bernardo Silva all surrounding that, and I have to think that Semenyo is eyeing it up. He's taking a long run up. Surely he's not going to shoot from here, is he?
God, that would be something. It reminds me of Gaza versus Arsenal, that, if he manages to put that in.
Yeah, don't remind me of that one. Let's not talk about that today. Can we give a happy words. It is going to be... Oh, it was a shot, but it was right into the wall. Semenyo got some power and movement behind that ball, however. And that ball is knocked out of play there by Kusanov, who has come on from strength to strength for Manchester City since joining the club. And he really has become a really strong stay-at-home defenseman and has helped to anchor that Manchester City defence.
Yeah, it's been incredible, the turnaround for him. Obviously, he had the shaky start, but he's seemed to form a formidable partnership with Mark Gay, who obviously came in January as well. And for Kusanov, it's been incredible. His best asset to me is his pace. You know, when he's one-on-one with the defender, running against someone, I don't think I've seen a clip of him being beaten yet. So definitely one of his strongest assets, Paul.
The ball is played forward to Mamouche. Mamouche lays it off to Jeremy Doku. Doku checks inside. The ball is pulled back across, and Fafana just gets a foot on that, puts it behind for a corner. And, well, that was a really good move. And you could see Nico O'Reilly being involved in that. And I can tell you, Alex, Nico O'Reilly, since the moment I saw him, he, for me, is a star for the future and one that is going to elevate England as a whole. Here's Doku. I'll get your thoughts on that in a minute. Doku just holding the ball up at the corner of the penalty area on the left-hand side. Gets across into the back post. It's a free header there. Oh, and it's blocked. And Mamouche's header was blocked by the defenseman. And, well, I can tell you, it looked like it was Levi Colwell, in fact, that got the block on that header. But the cross coming in, he's just about onside as well, I would argue. Going back to what I was saying about O'Reilly, what are your thoughts on him this season? He's been very impressive.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly, Paul. Great opportunity for City there. But in terms of Nico O'Reilly, his versatility and the way that he's sort of broken to the first team this season with Manchester City. He obviously made a few appearances last season, but he's really laid a claim to his position in that starting 11, whether that be in the defensive midfield role or at fullback. He is definitely a star for the future, and I would love to see him playing at this summer's World Cup. But yeah, ball back with James Trafford now, Paul.
Yeah, James Trafford releases the ball there to Gahey. Gahey releases it to the aforementioned O'Reilly. Plays the ball in the middle to Rodri, and it's now played forward here and out to the right-hand side to Semenyo. Semenyo in front of Cucurella. Semenyo back heels it here now, and here's Nunes. Nunes, oh, that's Cucurella doing very, very well, stopping this move, forcing Nunes towards the touchline. Nunes does a quick 1-2 with Semenyo down that right-hand side. It's Semenyo again. I mean, what we're seeing so far between Semenyo and Cucurella is a very interesting battle so far. The ball is out wide now to Jeremy Doku down the left-hand side. He's got Gusto in front of him. Cole Palmer's come to join. It's out to Gahey. Gahey tries to play the ball in the middle, but it just goes behind for a goal kick. And I've got to be honest with you, Alex. I'm kind of interested on this battle between Semenyo and Cucurella.
Me too, Paul. Me too. I thought we would be seeing more of Doku versus Gusto today. But yeah, Kukurea, who's obviously starting in that more advanced position, he's having more of these battles with Semenyo, and it's going to be interesting to see who comes out on top come the end of the game.
Yeah, I think Semenyo, I actually believe Semenyo might come out on top. He's such a powerful player with such pace and speed. I don't know. Let's see how it goes anyway. But it's a free kick for Chelsea for a foul on Pedro. And the free kick is about 15 yards inside their own half of the field. And it's played over the halfway line to Kukurea. Kukurea goes down but manages to play the ball back to Casado. And here is Joel Hollett. Excuse me, Joel Hatto, excuse me. Here's João Pedro, and Pedro is in an offside position. So with the first 13 minutes or so in the books, very few chances for either side.
Yeah, very cagey start here, Paul, but that's to be expected in a game when there's so much to risk. And City, they'll be hoping to make a few more opportunities. I don't think Chelsea will be too upset with their start to the game. They knew they were going to be up against it, but City, they're yet to create any real opportunities. But here they come now with Núñez breaking down the wing.
Núñez out to Semenyo down that right-hand side. He's got Kukurea in front of him again. Semenyo plays the ball across and nobody was taking the gamble. Oh, it was a beautiful ball delivered across by Semenyo, right in that corridor of uncertainty, but nobody just took that risk, Alex.
No, Paul, and what a cross that is. It's got the perfect weight on it for somebody to be at the back post. Erling Haaland, who of course in 14 appearances is yet to get a goal or assist in the semi-finals/finals for Manchester City. So we'll be hoping to change that today, Paul.
Yeah, that's just about the only criticism you can find of Haaland, isn't it? He's, I mean, he's just a monster.
He is, yeah. So when you're having to search for facts like that to have something against him, I think it shows the caliber of player that you're dealing with, doesn't it?
Yeah, he does. And he's just got everything that you would want in a centre forward. Speed, skill, predatory ability, strength, good in the air. Is basically the complete package, really, I think, for Manchester City, and they've benefited largely from his time at the Etihad Stadium, which is going to be renamed next season, by the way.
Oh, really, Paul? What was it to be renamed to? Have they not revealed that yet?
I don't think they've revealed that yet. I tried to find out. I'm sure if anybody knows, Russ will know, but I don't. I'm not sure what it is just yet. Probably another corporate sponsor, I expect.
I would imagine, yeah. I know that they're considering giving Pep his own stand in the stadium, aren't they? But to rename the whole stadium after him, I think, yeah, even that would be a little bit too much.
Yeah, I think that would make Pep blush a little bit with that. He doesn't strike me as being an egotistical man.
Not at all.
The ball is played forward here, and that's a good layoff there by Omar Mamouche. City have the ball here, and it's with Mark Guéhi. Guéhi lifts the ball over the top. Well, he's looking for the run of Mamouche, but that was really read well by Sanchez, who comes out and claims that ball.
As you mentioned earlier, Paul. Oh, sorry.
No, sorry, go ahead. Finish your point, I'm sorry.
I was just going to mention, after watching Petr Cech for so many years, anytime the camera sort of pans over that direction, that's my first sport when you see a Chelsea keeper in the protective gear that Robert Sanchez is wearing today.
You know Petr Cech changed sports, don't you, when he left football? He went to join a Czech ice hockey team.
Oh, play as goalie still, or was he looking for an outfield position?
Oh, he was still the goalie. Apparently, he's very proficient in that position too.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, you think of all the records that he holds in the Premier League. For him to then go over into another sport and continue the same form, that doesn't surprise me at all.
He's. I kind of miss Petr Cech. I thought he was an outstanding goalkeeper, one of a generation, really. Here's Semenyo now down the right-hand side. Kukurea comes across and puts that ball out of play. insisting that it have come off Semenyo, and he's letting the official on the far side know about it. And now he is arguing with a bit more subtlety, changing his tact a bit, but Akelhausen not changing his mind. And Darren England has come over to find out what's going on. Very passionate Cucurella, isn't he? He's always got a lot to say.
Definitely. Wears his heart on the sleeve, just a trait of the Spanish, I believe. And yeah, it was a very strong reaction originally, but as you mentioned, he kind of toned it down a little bit in hope of some reprieve. But no, it's still a Manchester City throw-in on this far side.
Yeah, he's not going to change his mind. It's Antoine Semenyo had the ball in his hand, but now he's left it. And here's Rodri. Rodri drops the ball back to Gahey. Here's Nico O'Reilly, just over the halfway line. Gahey again. Gahey holds the ball up well. It's back with O'Reilly. O'Reilly drops that ball to Jeremy Doku. Doku just holding the ball up. He's being doubled up on that left-hand side. Not surprised. He really has had an amazing season as Doku. Here's Rodri again now for Manchester City. Drops that ball back and laid off there. It's back now with that's Rodri again, isn't it? Rodri holds the ball up and it's out wide here to Nunes. And at the moment, Manchester City just knocking the ball about here as we've become familiar with this play. Ball is out wide to Doku. Just drops the ball back. It's lifted up all over the top, and it's once again looking for the run perhaps of Haaland. They've tried this a couple of times with Manchester City. They haven't really got the weight of the ball right, and again, just a bit too much strength on that pass.
Yeah, going back to what you were saying earlier about the player that Haaland is and the abilities that he possesses. He only needs one opportunity in this game, one ball played over the top, and he can make an opportunity out of a half chance, a striker like Erling Haaland. So Chelsea will just be hoping that opportunity doesn't fall to his feet, because we know just how clinical he can be if given the chance.
Well, they've got Levi Colwell at the back, as well as Malo Gusto. That can kind of not Malo Gusto, rather Wesley Fofana in those centre-back positions that can monitor Erling Haaland. But of course, the more focus you put on Haaland, that still releases Omar Mamouche and Antoine Semenyo and Jeremy Doku. It's how do you handle it all? They've just got goal scoring all over the park. Here's Cucurella. Cucurella holds the ball up well, plays it across there, and it's picked up by Hato. And the ball is out wide there now, and the cross coming into the back post, and that's a good piece of defending there by Matheus Nunes, because waiting on the back post was Marc Cucurella, and that's Chelsea's best bit of play in this first half. Started with Reece James, the ball out wide there, and the cross coming in from the right hand side by Malo Gusto, but a good piece of defending, Alex.
Yeah, good defending there from Chelsea. It's a similar opportunity to what Semenyo had, whipping the ball in, a little bit more lift to it, this one. But Chelsea have a corner now, their first of the game, and a real opportunity here to get the opening goal.
Right, it's going to be Reece James that's going to take it. And, of course, they've got the usual present in the penalty area. There's Gusto, just plays the ball back into his own half of the field. He picks the ball up now on the halfway line. Gusto runs the ball back inside his own half of the field. Caicedo there looking for the goalkeeper. It was a little bit wide of Sanchez. Not a problem for him to chase it and launch it downfield, though. João Pedro tries to head the ball on. And the flick on there was looking for... I'm not sure who that is over on the far side. Malo Gusto, I think. But... the camera angle is not the best. Here's Cucurella, and it's played forward there by Colwell, but it's given the ball away, and now Manchester City can come forward with Jeremy Doku. Doku now down that left-hand side. He's got two players around him, Cole Palmer being one of them, and Cole Palmer is going to clear the ball now, only as far as Gahey, but it's flicked on again, and away goes João Pedro now down the right-hand side. João Pedro is going to hold that ball up. He's got he's got Fernandes alongside him, and he slips and at the vital moment. And João Pedro, Chelsea catching Manchester City a little bit on the break there, Alex.
Yeah, and just going back to Kusanov and that pace, just where it looks like João Pedro's broken free and he's running straight on goal just with the keeper to beat. Kusanov manages to recover and he just gets in front of him, and it ends up being a wasted opportunity for Chelsea. And talking of wasted opportunity, Pauls, I'm still processing that corner they took where they've managed to make 4 or 5 passes all the way back to the goalkeeper. I mean, what a waste of an opportunity, especially at a final.
I know, but this is what it's doing with football now, isn't it? And it's largely in the Premier League. I watch a lot of leagues around the world and I never see it anywhere else. They just constantly want to play from the back, and it was introduced really by Pep Guardiola, I have to say. And it's extremely frustrating both as a commentator and as I suppose even as a fan to watch, but certainly as a neutral, I would suspect. A foul by Doku there.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I think that was amplified when we were watching the semi-finals in the Champions League. Obviously, we had that classic game between PSG and Bayern in the first leg, 2 teams outside of England, and you can see just how exciting football is supposed to be. But yeah, this sort of holding on to the ball, not taking risks, not taking chances, is not the football we grew up with, Paul.
No, it certainly isn't. I can remember. It certainly wasn't like that. Here's Haaland. Haaland tries to play the ball across. Omar Mamouche was cutting into the back post to try and get on the end of it, and it escapes the Egyptian. We've got some news for you in a moment, which I'll give you in just a few moments' time. Haaland looking to be provider there. Here's Mamouche, gets run into that time by Fofana, and now Chelsea are breaking away now down the left-hand side. Oh, it's João Pedro looking for the long ball, and well, that was very, very wayward. The news that the commentary hub can bring you is that Chelsea's Levi Colwill has been named in the 55-man initial squad by Thomas Tuchel for the World Cup, which was submitted to FIFA last Monday. Tuchel is also present today at the FA Cup final. Well, he might be. We've got a Chelsea player down right now. I think it's João Pedro. While he's down at the moment, you want to give me your thoughts on England's chances at the World Cup?
Well, if you had asked me at the start of the year, I would have been a little bit more confident, Paul. But our last couple friendlies have dampened those spirits. Obviously, we were missing a lot of players, such as Harry Kane, who is such an integral part to England and how they play going into the tournament. But I really don't know what to expect. There's a lot of things to consider, Paul, even outside of the football. Obviously, we're dealing with different altitudes and heat and conditions in general, which I think are really going to impact our squad. But in terms of footballing chances, I think England will be one of the best sides there. Obviously, you have other countries such as Spain and France who have a real shot at the title. But yeah, it's anyone's game, especially playing in such uncertain conditions. What about you, Paul? Who do you think is going to win?
Oh, if I was to place a bet, I'd say my money would be on Spain. Maybe France as an outside option, but I mean, the European countries, they have to get used to those conditions and they have to deal with those conditions. It's part and parcel of the World Cup. It can be held anywhere. There's no limits, and the conditions aren't going to be very pleasant for England in Dallas for their opening game. I've got a cousin who lives in Houston in Texas, and let me tell you, in the summer, it is unbearable.
That's great news going into the tournament, see? But yeah, I think those conditions, you make a great point of saying, you know, it's in a different place every 4 years. So part and parcel with the tournament is acclimatising to those conditions, and worthy winners will do so. And if England can acclimatise, I think that's going to be the question. I think the footballing ability there is there, and once we have a full squad, there's no doubt. But whether or not England go on and win, we'll see. But yeah, Enzo Fernandez with the ball here, Paul.
Fernandez just tries to thread the ball through there. That was blocked, in fact, by Rodri. And Enzo Fernandez now has been pulled up for a free kick. He doesn't agree with that, but then do they ever? Here is Mateus Nunes out to Antoine Semenyo. He's got Cucurella in front of him, plays it through to Nunes. Real chance, pulls the ball across, and Haaland has scored. But I think the official, yes, Ackelhausen, has his flag up over on the far side. Well, perhaps for a moment, Erling Haaland getting excited about scoring his first goal in a final, but you can clearly see there's no question about that offside, Alex.
No, is it Mateus Nunes who just jumps a little bit early there? It's brilliant play from City. It's patient build-up. It's Pep Guardiola's team at the best. Nunes just gets the ball across. Haaland there to finish, but yeah, just offside from Nunes. So still 0-0.
Well, it's a little bit of goal-scoring threat anyway, at least. Robert Sanchez is going to take the free kick, right-footed downfield. Up in the air to win that comfortably is Rodri. He just heads that back to James Trafford, who likewise has not had much to do in the first 27 minutes of this game. And the ball is played towards the halfway line there to Jeremy Doku. And it's Gahey again, who'll no doubt be in that England squad. And he is an absolute consummate professional. And having left Crystal Palace and joining Manchester City, it's quite a career change, but he really has taken it very well in his stride. Nunes has given the ball away, and João Pedro just trying to break away that time, and it was a good challenge over on the far side now, and it's going to be a throw-in for Chelsea. Chelsea just throw the ball back towards the halfway line, and here is the number 21 for Chelsea, Yoel Hato. Hato drops the ball back to Colwell, across to Fofana. Over on the far side there is Malo Gusto storming forward. Oh, this is good play by Gusto. Great run. He plays the ball out onto the far side, looking there. And it was blocked, in fact, by Nico O'Reilly. And now City trying to come forward with Jeremy Doku. Doku, he's dispossessed that time. Oh, that's a late challenge. Oh, that's a two-footed challenge by Enzo Fernandez. That looked pretty dangerous from where I'm sitting. The yellow card is going to come out, but I can't help thinking that VAR might want to look at this. And Enzo Fernandez knows he's in trouble.
Not a good challenge at all.
Let's have a look.
Oh,
there it is. Oh, that's a red in my mind.
The first is reckless enough, but then the jump. Oh, yeah, it's gonna be a close one when they review it. He just jumps at Bernardo Silva, doesn't he? Whether or not he jumps with both legs going straight into him there, that's what they're going to be looking at in the VAR room.
The thing for me is the studs were up. That was the main thing for me. And that's usually a telltale sign, but it doesn't even look like VAR are looking at this. In fact, the game is going to get back underway, and I think Enzo Fernandez has got away with one there.
I agree with you, Paul. I think that's something that at least deserved a bit of a longer review than what was given. But game goes on. Enzo Fernandez is still on the pitch.
Yeah, I just wonder what Callum McFarlane might be feeling at half-time. Wonder whether he might consider taking him off to avoid, because you've got to wonder that his next missed-time challenge is going to be enough, I think. Because, I mean,
definitely.
Darren England must have been thinking about it.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those things you think, we're 30 minutes into the game. You may not want to be sending somebody off this early into the final, but then again, making challenges like that, you really are playing with fire.
Yeah, absolutely. Ball is over on the far side now with Pedro. Pedro lays the ball off to Gusto. It's back to Pedro again, and the offside flag going up against Cole Palmer, and it's going to be a free kick to Manchester City. Just have a look at this again. You can see the ball. Yeah, he's marginal. Well spotted by the assistant on the far side there. And that assistant is Tim Wood. Now you see you've got Pedro still down as a consequence from that challenge by Enzo Fernandez. Not from that challenge, excuse me. João Pedro is still down right now. And he is... It looks quite serious, actually. He's holding his knee. Back on his feet now, but he looks very, very uncomfortable. That's interesting. Yeah, it doesn't particularly look very comfortable there, Alex.
No, and it's the time of the season where any sort of niggle or injury here will be impacted. Cole Palmer just threw on goal at the moment, sorry.
Cole Palmer just tried to play the ball through. He's blocked, in fact. And it's now out to Antoine Semenyo, who's away. Skips inside Cucurella, and Cucurella brings him down. And this will be another yellow card. And, well, that was a late challenge. And I have to be honest, when I was doing the research and stats for this game, Alex, Chelsea have got an awful lot of cards. I just look at the statistics for them for this season. There's just multiple. And Cucurella has got 20 fouls this season, 3 yellow cards and 1 red, now the 4th. And you've got, of course, players like Pedro Neto with 51 fouls, 11 yellow cards and 1 red. They really need to become just a little bit more disciplined.
Yeah, and discipline's the word. Their disciplinary record over the course of the season has arguably been the worst out of any of the sides in the Premier League. There was that period where they were consecutively getting red cards, and the next manager needs to bring that stability coming into it. But we have Semenyo on the right-hand side. He's in the box here. Oh, wayward shot, Paul.
Yeah, wayward shot. I think he tried to get the curler into the far corner there, Semenyo, and it just managed to strike it, caught the outside of the boot. Looks frustrated with himself, but even the best make mistakes.
Yeah, very true, Paul. It's an opportunity which he'll be kicking himself for. You know, he got himself into a great position there, and we've seen him do it a few times this season, that ability just to sort of wrap his foot around the ball. We've seen it a lot more from Jeremy Doku in the last few game weeks, and here he is on the ball now with some brilliant skill against Gusto.
Yeah, Gusto not buying that. He gets in and makes a challenge. Doku then going into the back of Gusto, and it's going to be a free kick for Chelsea. Just a couple of yards in from the touchline down the left-hand side. And it's going to launch the ball forward here. Is he going to leave it for Sanchez? He's going to leave it for Robert Sanchez. And he is going to clear the ball downfield. So we've had 1 or 2 chances in this first half so far. Nothing, I would call them half chances really, but nothing really major. I think there's a lack of creativity in this first half so far. Chelsea now with the ball with Cole Palmer, and just winning that back is Nico O'Reilly. Oh, that was the calmness of a veteran there, Alex. Just took the ball off Palmer's feet and moved the ball away there. That was really good play by O'Reilly.
Absolutely brilliant, Paul. You know, this is why he's so well revered. He has this experience and nous of a player who's been playing for over 10 years, and you think this is probably his first full season in English domestic football. So he's such a talent, and the fact that he's so versatile and can play all over the pitch only adds to his repertoire. So outstanding player, and another brilliant bit of skill there.
Colwell just plays the ball forward. Here's Caicedo. Caicedo to Palmer, out to Gusto. Gusto now getting the ball, corner of the penalty area, right-hand side is Malo Gusto. Checks back, tries to get the cross in, and it's right into the arms of James Trafford. And he's going to release that ball to Mark Gahey. Rodri just plays the ball forward, looking for Bernardo Silva, checks the ball back to Rodri. It is still 0-0 in this first half. Here's Bernardo Silva again, and playing one of his last games for Manchester City this season. What a servant he has been to Manchester City. Here's Gahey. Gahey plays the ball forward to Silva again. It's laid off to O'Reilly. Out onto the far side to Doku on the left. Doku plays the ball back to Rodri. Rodri lifts the ball into the middle, looking for Semenyo. The header is won by Cucurella that time. Following up is Mateus Nunes, and Nunes is alleged to have fouled the Argentinian Enzo Fernandez. I didn't see much in that, to be honest with you, Alex.
No, I agree, Paul. I think Enzo knows exactly what he was doing there. Just kill the play, just get the ball back in possession with Manchester. or Chelsea, sorry. And yeah, here we are now with Jarrell Hutto. We're on the ball.
Hutto plays the ball forward. Flick on there by Pedro. And Cole Palmer looking to nick in there, but that's one at the back there for Manchester City. And the ball is played forward. And now Gusto has the ball. Played it across to Fofana. Fofana has Hutto alongside him. He decides to play the ball to Fernandez. And it's now with the number 24, Reece James, out wide to Gusto again. Chelsea moving forward. Caicedo, James. Ball forward again here. And it's Enzo Fernandez again. Fernandez lifts the ball into the middle, looking for Malo Gusto. Tries to get the cross in. Well, that was dealt with really well by Gahey. But the danger not gone for Manchester City yet. Chelsea still have the ball now with Reece James, midway inside the Manchester City half of the field. Reece James checks the ball back into the centre circle and across to the number 21, Jarrell Hutto. And it's with number 6 again there for Chelsea, Levi Colwill, as they started in the in the Manchester City half, Alex, and they just seem to have worked their way backwards, haven't they?
Yeah, been symbolic of their play in this first half, unfortunately. And if the scoreline stays the same, 0-0, I think Callum McFarlane will be very happy with that. You know, as many people expected, including me and you, Paul, we thought that this was going to be Man City's day and run away from it. But Chelsea will be happy with the start that they've made.
Yeah, I'm not sure I could take 90 minutes of this, so and extra time as well.
No, I think that would be an ass. So I'm hoping that the game kicks into life maybe towards the end of the first half, if not at least the second half.
Here's Gusto now, tries to get the cross in. It's blocked by O'Reilly. Gusto has a second bite at the cherry. Drops the ball back there to Cole Palmer. Palmer tries to get the cross in. Oh, it's just almost above Cucurella's head. He was only able to just bring the ball under control, shields it away from Semenyo. Here's Moises Caicedo. Reece James. And it's back now with Jarrell Hutto. Across the line there to Reece James again. And it's played down the line to Malo Gusto. He's got Cole Palmer up there with him. And it's almost like a training session here at the moment. Here's Levi Colwill. The ball is out wide to Marc Cucurella. Cucurella drops the ball back to Hutto. Hutto across to Colwill. Colwill tries to play the ball forward. And there's Caicedo. It's a good ball out onto the far side there to Gusto. Gusto, though, finds Cole Palmer. Palmer tries to get the cross in. And there's a header behind. Dealt with very well by Bernardo Silva. Perhaps Chelsea may bring Cole Palmer into the game a bit more. They might be able to create one or two more chances, Alex.
Yeah, I think the onus is on Cole Palmer himself as well. Obviously, he's not been in the best form recently, but whenever Chelsea are getting the ball out to those wings, there's just nothing happening there. Obviously, the form that Palmer's in, but Cucurella, it's not unknown for him to be playing in an advanced role. You think he was more or less playing as a wing-back in his Brighton days, but he just hasn't got that attacking quality they need in that final third. So I am worried for Chelsea when they get the ball. But a corner here.
Corner comes in. It's headed out to the edge of the area. Cucurella right on cue. Miscues that shot. Good call, Alex. And the ball is long over the top, looking for Nico O'Reilly, who seems to have switched. Is that Nico? No, that's Mateus Nunes. And the ball is over on looking for Jarrell Hutto. Hutto is alleged to have committed the foul there on Bernardo Silva, and it's a free kick for Manchester City. I tell you, if I was looking at this just from a neutral standpoint, Alex, it's how can I put this?
Politely as well.
Yes, politely. Yeah, it's been poor, hasn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah, I think lackluster. That's the word I would use, Paul. Like, obviously, you're a final, you're expecting quite a big game, but looking at the bench, there is still some players that both teams could call on. I think going into the second half. I think Pedro Neto and Garnacho would be good additions to Chelsea, especially just to give them some creative license out on the wing, whereas City obviously have the creative outlets of Ryan Cherky and Phil Foden to bring on. So as long as the substitutions are made, Paul, I think the second half might be a little bit more exciting.
Yeah, the ball is out of play there from the goal kick from Trafford. One player I am sad that isn't playing today is Estevao. I would have liked to have seen Estevao come up against Nico O'Reilly. I would be very interested in that battle, but of course Estevao is out with a hamstring injury, which is a great shame because I enjoy watching him play. There's João Pedro, plays the ball forward, and Mark Gahey picks up the ball and plays the ball to Bernardo Silva. Silva gets the ball out to Doku. Doku with a chance to run at Malo Gusto now, and he does not. He holds the ball up instead. Drops the ball back towards the halfway line, and here's Nico O'Reilly following up. O'Reilly's got options left and right. Plays a short ball to Rodri. Out wide to Omar Mamouche. Mamouche steps back to Nunes. Nunes plays the ball into the centre circle. And now then Manchester City coming forward now, but at the moment just keeping possession. Game management perhaps towards the end of this first half. I'll get an early first half assessment from Alex in just a moment. Manchester City, let's see what they can do with the ball at the moment. Here's Gahey. Gahey tries to play the ball forward, looking for Erling Haaland. He gets on the end of it, Haaland! And it's a good save at his near post by Robert Sanchez, and that's the first shot on goal that we've had in this first half.
Yeah, brilliant play from City just to force the opening. And Erling Haaland, as we mentioned before, you give him one opportunity, he's going to make the most out of it. And it's not the easiest angle there, but he manages to just wrap his left foot around it, gets a shot on goal, and here's another corner for City.
It's taken short. Here's Jeremy Doku. Let's see if they can land a stinging blow before half-time. Doku pulls the ball back to Rodri. Rodri tries to get the cross into the back post. It's picked up here by Semenyo. Semenyo just holding the ball up, looking for options. Chelsea got, they got 7 men across a skirmish line across the edge of the penalty area. It is making it difficult for City to break through. And here's Semenyo again. Semenyo drops the ball back. And here is Mark Gahey. Gahey gets the ball out to the left-hand side to Jeremy Doku. Been so impressive this season. Gusto in front of him, plays the ball short to O'Reilly. O'Reilly there has got Hato and Cole Palmer, and Cole Palmer wins the challenge, gets it back to the goalkeeper Robert Sanchez, and Sanchez launches the ball downfield, headed on by Nico O'Reilly, and Haaland coming in from an offside position. As we approach the 45 minutes, Alex, why don't you give me your assessment of what has been a very quiet first half?
Yeah, quiet would be the word I would go with, Paul. It's been very cagey. It's been a very tepid start, but going in at half-time, Chelsea are going to be happy with this score, whereas Man City will be a bit more frustrated that they've not been able to carve out more opportunities. So there was a couple wayward crosses early doors, few chances, but the biggest first talking point was that possible red card for Enzo Fernandez, a reckless challenge, flying in, but he got away with it with a yellow. And the best chance in terms of football was Erling Haaland. A couple minutes ago, it's a difficult opportunity, left-footed shot straight at the keeper. But cagey start, Paul, hoping for more in the second half.
Well, Jeremy Doku just keeps the ball from going behind for a goal kick, but it's a throw into Chelsea by the corner flag. We have 3 minutes of stoppage time at the end of this first half. And Chelsea, well, they are going to throw the ball long here. And picked up by Bernardo Silva. City really have dominated possession in this first half, as we expected they would. But really only the one real chance created, but the ball's been given away to João Pedro. Pedro, is it? So that's a penalty, surely. That is a penalty, is it not? Oh, I don't know. He looked like he body checked him there. Now, whether they felt the ball was away from João Pedro at the time, I don't know, but I'm sure VAR will look at it. Indeed they are. Your opinion, Alex?
Yeah, just seeing the replay now, Paul, I think it's going to be a tough decision either way. It may even be just outside of the box, but I think the force that Kusanov comes in with on Pedro, I think it is bordering on excessive. And yeah, it's the toss of a coin. You could give a penalty, you can not give a penalty for that.
And they've chosen not to give a penalty. Yeah, they might have been outside the box indeed when the initial contact took place. It was very, very close to being on the line. It's another interesting talking point for Ben and Ross at half-time. But for now, the game goes on, no penalty. If that was clearly inside the box, I would say that it would have been in my mind. But no, the decision by VAR has opted not to go with that. Here's Mark Cucurella and Enzo Fernandez now. Fernandez holds the ball up, drops it back there to Joel Hatto and Casado. And across there from Fofana to Gusto. Chelsea now with Cole Palmer. It is 0-0. We've got 33 minutes gone. Not 33, sorry, that's not correct. I'm looking at the scoreboard on the screen, which seems to have been stopped. We're actually in the... Excuse me, we're in the last minute of stoppage time. We seem to be having trouble with some of the graphics there, so sorry about that, folks. We are, in fact, in the last minute or so now of stoppage time at the end of the first half. And it's Reece James. Picks up the ball again, does James. Holds the ball back.
This half, James.
Yeah, he has, hasn't he? He's been impressive in the first half.
Definitely.
And that's it. That is half time of what has been a very I'm going to use quiet first half, Alex. So far, the main chance coming for Erling Haaland, forcing a good save from Robert Sanchez. The two major talking points, of course, is the possible sending off of Enzo Fernandez that was given as a yellow, and the potential penalty. Half-time here at Wembley Stadium in the 2026 FA Cup final. It's Chelsea 0, Manchester City 0.
Thank you very much there to Paul and to Alex for their first half coverage. And we're back with them in plenty enough time for the start of the second half. And there's plenty of myself and Ben to look forward to and discuss during the half-time break. Well, our commentary team of Paul and Alex take a well-deserved break during the half-time interval. So, with the scoreline of 0-0 at half-time, let's just go through some of the statistics at half-time for you, which we have got on my monitor in front of us here right now. 2 shots for Chelsea, 6 for Manchester City, none on target for Chelsea, 2 for Manchester City. No big chances of peaks. Expected goals, or XG, as is also known as, of 0.12 for Chelsea and 0.44 for Manchester City. 3 touches in the opposition box for Chelsea to compare to Manchester City's 13. Man City were edging just for the possession, with 60% possession to 40%, and passes Man City 296 to Chelsea's 202. There have been some big talking points in that first half, and the first one I want to come to you on, Ben, is that challenge from Enzo Fernandez. You had with a private chat to our commentary team. I thought it could have been a red card there. What did you feel about that challenge from Enzo Fernandez? Did you feel like that could have seen the red card there? Or do you think the referee and officials got a spot on there, Ben?
I think it's a really difficult one. I think ultimately you've got to measure the force of the challenge, and this is where it's borderline. I think that could very easily have been given as a red card, but it's also got to be considered that Darren England on the pitch had given a yellow card. Was it a clear and obvious error? And that is where, again, you can understand why they've gone for the yellow cards. I think Enzo Fernandez is lucky to an extent, because there is a world where I can envisage that being given as a red, but I wouldn't say it's the most clear-cut decision you'll ever see.
Yes, absolutely, Ben. And just before we touch upon some other key incidents in the match, including the penalty shout towards the end of that first half for Chelsea when Pedro went down. Just talk to me about on Erling Haaland. He had a goal disallowed for offside. But what have you made to his performance in that first half? His runs he's been making, the movement he's been making for Manchester City up when the ball's been in that final third. What have you made to Haaland's performance in that first half today?
I think collectively for City, they've just missed that killer edge, that sharp edge so far. You could see, I think, earlier in the half with Semenyo trying to deliver the ball across the box and Haaland was not there to greet it. That would be an instance where City at their most ruthless best would manage to score, would be able to score. So I think there's an element of City obviously not being at their best, and Chelsea to an extent not being at their best as well, and just lacking something that you need in a cup final, and that is a ruthlessness in front of goal, but also in possession as well. There's been an element of nerves from both sides, which is understandable given the significance of the game. But ultimately, I would say that both managers, Callum McFarlane and Pep Guardiola, can look at their sides going into the second half and know that there is something extra to give.
Yes, absolutely, Ben. Absolutely. And if we'll get upon the incident, we got the penalty shot towards the end of the game, end of the first half, should I say, for Chelsea. But Jeremy Doku, we've seen Chelsea on occasions double up on him on that Man City left-hand side where you've got Malo Gusto and Cole Palmer dropping back to help out at times. Do you feel that's the way to stop Manchester City by doubling up on the likes of Jeremy Doku and maybe Haaland and the creative players in that side, in that for Manchester City, doubling up on them? I think that's probably the best way to stop Man City from thriving in that first half and thriving in the game.
Yes, yeah, 100%, Russ. And I think you look at Doku as well, particularly in the semi-final against Southampton, where he was just given that half a second too much to take the shot from the edge of the box, which, yes, took a deflection en route to going into the back of the net. But ultimately, that's what Chelsea have limited. As you said, they've doubled up on him, and yes, he has been able to drift into the box on occasions, but never within sight of goal, never with a clear view of the goal. And yeah, ultimately, Chelsea can be very, very pleased with the way they've limited City's chances. Robert Sanchez made a save towards the end of the first half from Erling Haaland, but he's not had to pull out a worldie of a save so far, and that is credit to how defensively solid Chelsea have been thus far. And you can say the same for Manchester City, in fairness. Yes, Chelsea have looked rather threatening on the break, and yeah, maybe one or two touches in their favour, then there could have been a goal. But I think both teams, but particularly Chelsea, can take pride from the way that they've nullified the opposition thus far.
Absolutely, Ben, absolutely. And you're going around with that, the defensive, neither side of a goalkeeper's being tested that much. There was one where when Nunes going down, which was just offside when Haaland scored. But looking from Man City perspective, going defensively, they've not really had much to do defensively in terms of James Trafford. There, to be fair.
Yeah, say that again, sorry, Russ.
I said, with regards to both defenders, both defenders have played really well, and you had to apart from their chance where City going behind and which goes offside. No real defences have been broken down and being able to get behind as easy. Both man teams are defending really well, and both goalkeepers yet really to be tested as much as probably what the opposition manager or the manager of the team would be expecting the opposition goalkeeper to be worked more of in that, especially with it being a final.
Yeah, exactly that, and it goes back to what you said a minute ago about doubling up on certain players. Erling Haaland, yes, he had that chance towards the end of the first half, but he's not been a dominant force in that final third. So yeah, it's just a tight game. It's a tight game, and you know, we talked before the match in terms of our predictions, and I thought City would just have that extra edge, which we've yet to see so far. But you know, Chelsea at the end of the day, they are of a certain calibre that can cause Manchester City problems. And it's exactly what they've done so far. The way they've set up defensively, the way they've limited the way in which City can run through them. Yeah, I think Callum McFarlane can take immense satisfaction from that, and even with some things to build upon.
Yes, absolutely, Ben. Absolutely. There was a potential penalty for just towards the end of the first half when Yao Pedro was taken down in the penalty area. The commentators thought he could have been given, but he was not given. What was your thoughts on that one, Ben?
I think I think again, once that decision was given as no penalty on the pitch, again, it wasn't a. I don't think it was a penalty anyway. So by the time you get into VAR, they weren't going to rule that as a clear and obvious error. I think Kusanov, he's a very, how do we use it? Quite a strong defender, and he can throw his body on the line, and sometimes that gets the better of him. But I wouldn't say that did there.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely, and you can understand it. And I just want to say, do you feel if the on-field referee down in England had given a spot kick, do you think VAR would have overturned it, or do you think it's one of them ones where if he's not overturned, if he's given on the field as a penalty, he doesn't get overturned? Like it was given not as a penalty, it wasn't overturned. Do you feel that would be the case if it was given on the field? Do you think we would have stuck with the referee's call? Because that's what Howard Webb has mentioned. This is in VAR is to, if we can, stick with the on-field decision of the referee rather than changing things in VAR.
Yeah, I don't think it's a penalty, first and foremost. But yeah, if it had been given, I can't say with an absolute guarantee that it would be overturned. But yeah, it goes back to my original thought. At the end of that, I thought the referee made the right call on the pitch.
Yes, absolutely, Ben. Absolutely. And just obviously, Levi Colwell's played in that first half and he's looked solid to the back line for Chelsea. Obviously, you heard during the commentary that he's being named in the initial 55-man squad by Thomas Tuchel, having been out injured for quite a while. Obviously, there's some other defenders in there probably would be ahead of him for the actual squad, in the likes of John Stones, Aaron Maguire, Jared Branthwaite, just name three there. Do you feel he's Ezri Konsa in there as well? Do you feel like to name four, do you think he's got a chance of potentially going to work if he has a strong end to the season, Levi Colwell, Ben, or do you feel he may not get a chance this year, but working on and could get into the Euros in 2028 instead?
You're as good as your last game. So if an FA Cup can be lifted, then yeah, he gives himself a good chance. And yeah, it's a 55-man squad. The scope is big. So I would say that should be. I mean, if not for consideration, then it should be for selection, I would say. So yeah, I would say that today could be a springboard. Euro 2028 is always difficult to tell. That's still a couple of years away. But on the World Cup this year, maybe again, lasting impressions, they're crucial.
Yes, absolutely. Lasting impressions is crucial, and with the England manager here today, not only will be looking at Levi Colwell, will be looking at the likes of Cole Palmer as well, and Reece James back from injury as well, and look at Mark Gay as well. I forgot to mention now could be probably one of choosing. Maybe James Trafford could go on the plane as the third choice goalkeeper behind Pickford and maybe Henderson. So there's a number of options there that Tuchel could be looking at this afternoon. It looks as though City may be making a change or coming up to making a change very, very shortly at the start of the second half. I can see down there that Ryan Cherky potentially getting ready to come on for Manchester City at half time. So we'll wait and see if that's going to be the case as we get ready for the second half to get underway very, very shortly in the FA Cup final. Obviously, you mentioned a 2-0 prediction in the start of the game. Ben, are you sticking with that prediction, or do you think it'll be a tighter game and just one goal in the second half of this FA Cup match?
I'm less confident, but I'm still going 2-0, yes.
Yes, absolutely. I think it could be a close game. I think in my prediction at the start, and normally as a presenter I don't give it, but I'll give it right now. And I believe that there is going to be goals in this second half, and Paul and Alex and myself and Ben and Nick, we're not going to have a long afternoon of coverage here, but I believe we'll have another extent, get the winner sorted in 90 minutes, and it's going to be probably 3 goals in it, I think. 2 on either way I'm going for. and we'll have goals in the second half. So without further ado, with the players almost back out ready for the second half, it's time for me to hand back over to Matchday commentary team of Alex Peters and first, Paul James.
Thank you, Ross. Welcome back to the start of the second half. Alex, well, are you sticking with your 3-1?
I think we would see quite the second half if this game was to finish with my original prediction of 3-1. So, no, I do still think Manchester City will win this game, but I don't know if I'm so confident in my earlier prediction, Paul.
No, I get it. I'm just looking to see the substitution here, if it is Ryan Cherky coming on. And we'll see, it would be a very attacking substitution. We know what he's capable of. So, yes, absolutely. I think it would be kind of interesting to see Ryan Cherky coming on. And I suspect we may see him replace Omar Mamouche, I would have thought.
You're correct in thinking that, Paul. You're correct. Yeah, he has replaced Omar Mamouche.
Oh, there you go. That was good.
Great prediction, mate.
Well, I was thinking it was not going to be Doku because he's done all right, and Semenyo. Well, we know what he's capable of. I can only think of it being Omar Mamouche because they're not going to take Erling Haaland off. Just a process of elimination. I don't consider myself to be of vast knowledge.
Hey, you're too modest, Paul. You're too modest. Yeah, you're right. You're right. It makes sense, doesn't it? Because City, from what I see here, I think they set up in a 4-2-2. So they had Mamouche and Haaland up front originally. But now I expect that Cherky will drop in behind Haaland. And then obviously you're going to see Semenyo and Doku sort of stretch out a little bit wider for City.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I'm also be interested to see if Chelsea do take off Enzo Fernandez as the game goes on and those legs tire on that Wembley pitch, and it's been a long old season for these players. That might be a wise thing for Chelsea to do. Well, we're about to get the second half underway, and we have City taking the kick-off and attacking the goal to our left on this case. And we're just waiting for Darren England to blow his whistle, and then we can get proceedings back underway. Erling Haaland over that ball. He's just moved away now. It's Bernardo Silva there, and the second half is underway. Kick-off, and here is Mark Gay. He drops the ball back there, and Mateus Nunes just plays the ball forward. And it goes back to the goalkeeper by Nico O'Reilly, and it's a clearance by James Trafford, and it's not a bad ball at all to Jeremy Doku. Jeremy Doku just trying to peel away from Malo Gusto there. Gusto goes down. Your thoughts on that one, Alex? Didn't appear to be a lot wrong with that, to be honest. I might be wrong. Maybe we'll need to see a replay on that.
No, I agree with you initially, Paul. Yeah, I don't think there was too much in that challenge, to be honest. I think it was just two players going for the ball, and it might have just been the way that Gusto fell down awkwardly. But yeah, I don't think there was any malicious intent with that one.
And it's a free kick to Chelsea, though, which Reece James will take. And he drops the ball back there to Yoel Hato. The ball is played forward over the top, just hits the back heel of Pedro. But he keeps possession, João Pedro. It's good work by him. Not only a goal scorer, but he's definitely well capable of holding the ball up as well, isn't he?
Oh, he's magnificent at doing so, Paul. I almost think that's him in his best position, to be honest. And Chelsea have been unlucky this season. Obviously, when they signed João Pedro and Liam Delap, you would have thought that they wouldn't have had to sign another striker for the next few summers. But of course, it looks like they're going to be back in the market for another one this summer. But yeah, João Pedro, he's so great at bringing the ball in. But here's Ryan Cherky down the other end.
Cherky, good ball out wide there to Nico O'Reilly. O'Reilly gets crossed to the back post. There's a header from Semenyo. And that's the best bit of football we've seen in this whole game. That was absolutely superb play. The cross was delivered expertly by Nico O'Reilly to the back post. And there was Semenyo, very unlucky. He just couldn't get his head over the ball. But it goes down as a chance for Manchester City, doesn't it?
It does, and it's the best chance that we've seen so far this game, and that is the difference that a player like Ryan Cherky makes. He creates the opportunity there. It's a brilliant ball whipped in from Nico O'Reilly, and Semenyo just unlucky to put it over the bar there, Paul.
Well, it's a short goal kick by Sanchez, and Chelsea now coming forward with Caicedo. Caicedo holds the ball up. He'll be in Ecuador's World Cup squad. Ecuador in with Germany, Curacao, and Ivory Coast.
There's some good players, Ecuador. They do. They have
yeah,
Hincapia from Arsenal as well, don't they?
Yeah, they do. And Germany aren't going to find it very easy. Of course, me being a Germany fan, it's I'm not confident they'll get out to the first round anymore. I'm just not.
No, of course.
Not with that squad they've got anyway. Enzo Fernandez falls over here, and it's going to be a free kick. Mateus Nunes is the man to have committed the egregious act. Fernandez takes the free kick quickly. Chelsea. Well, what have Chelsea got in their arsenal that can cause City some problems?
As I mentioned before, I think if they're looking at the substitute bench, then Pedro Neto and Garnacho are going to be the first players that they call upon there. I think they just need to get at City, Paul. I think they need to take the game to them a little bit more, whereas Palmer and Cucurella out on the wings at the moment for them, it's just not doing anything. I mean, Palmer's just won a foul right there, but in terms of attacking play, they're just not encouraging. There's just nothing that is threatening City, to be honest. So, yeah, I think turning to the bench and looking at some attacking options is what's going to bring Chelsea back into this game.
The ball is now picked up by Reece James, and he's dropped the ball back to Colwell. Colwell back again this time to Hato. Hato plays the ball forward, and it's returned back to him as Chelsea just trying to have a period of possession, I think, which is really what they've lacked really in the first half. Ball played forward here to Pedro. He's inside his own half, and it's been given away, and City now have possession with Antoine Semenyo looking for Ryan Cherki in that position. The referee has given a free kick though, and have a guess who's down, Alex?
I don't think it would come to any surprise that Enzo Fernandez is on the floor again there, Paul.
Yeah. It's a free kick for Chelsea. And you can see the quiet, demeaning look of Pep Guardiola. Well, I remember him watching him as a player for Spain in the 1990 World Cup. He wasn't half bad as a player either.
No, and it seems he's continued that on into his managing career as well, or even exceeded it. Yeah, an incredible manager, one of the best that we're ever likely to see. If this is his last season with City, we're not too sure, but all we do know is that he's definitely going to want to end today with another trophy.
Oh yeah, for sure. Absolutely. And it's James Trafford who has the ball back now, clears the ball downfield, and headed back to the goalkeeper there from Malo Gusto, and Sanchez can now afford to take his time. Reece James there, and there's Thomas Tuchel in the crowd. He's got some decision making to make over the next couple of weeks. Highly under pressure is Thomas Tuchel to deliver for England. He already wasn't a popular choice for the job, was he? Oh, the ball has been given away, and it's a free kick. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. Carry on, Alex. I apologise.
Don't you worry, Paul. Don't you worry. Yeah, obviously when you pick a German to be the manager of England, it's always going to come with a bit of uncertainty and maybe some disdain from the fans. But I think what Thomas Tuchel has done has instilled this sort of like solid foundation to England. And albeit you shouldn't look at the last two friendlies to judge his performances, but when we get into the summer, I expect to see a resolute and a set-piece dependent England, to be honest with you. I think defence is going to be a massive part of our game. We obviously saw Thomas Tuchel against Pep Guardiola in this exact fixture in the Champions League, where he sort of combated this attacking Man City side with a brilliant Chelsea defence. And I think we're going to see more of the same this summer. Whether or not we go on and win the whole thing, I'm not too confident, Paul.
Well, of course, now you have a German in charge, you might actually win something. Here is Mark Gahey. I'm sorry, I'm going to upset the viewers soon. Here is Jeremy Doku. Doku checks inside, he goes down, and the referee has said no free kick this time. And Jeremy Doku can't believe it. I'll have to have a look at that again, but well, it's difficult to say. these days now players are so clever at going down. Some people are masters at it. Russ has confirmed that's my last game of the season. Oh, wait till the World Cup starts, Russ. I'm only just warming up.
That's it. Beware, England fans everywhere. Paul will be coming on the airwaves.
Here's Cole Palmer. Palmer plays a beautiful ball out wide here now to Malo Gusto. Plays the ball into the middle, but that's really, really good defending by Mark Gahey, just getting in the way of that. And City have, in my opinion, Alex, have kind of handled this Chelsea. Well, I would say it's not really been a very potent attack, really. But they've defended very, very well against Chelsea. They've shut down João Pedro, and the ball's going out to Cole Palmer on the right-hand side as well.
Yeah, and I feel like that is where Cole Palmer is less utilised. I don't think he's a brilliant player out wide on the wing. Obviously, right mid is where he had that outstanding season for Chelsea, but his best play is when he's coming outside, and Man City have been very aware of that, so they're just holding him as wide as they can, and it's preventing Chelsea from any real opportunities. So yeah, I agree with you. It's been great defence from City so far, but they've not really had anything to defend against, to be honest.
Well, Chelsea should have had a corner there. In fact, it has been given. James Trafford allowing the ball to just go behind. Youthful mistake. Trafford really has come on in leaps and bounds, certainly at his time at Burnley, and also in the Cup for Manchester City. But it's a corner for Chelsea, and it's going to be Reece James that's going to take it. Looking like he's going to outswing this one. Indeed he does. Trafford comes with a punch. The header back in by João Pedro. Trafford back, but it was also good defending as well. And Caicedo has committed a foul here as well. And it's going to be a free kick. But just take a look at this. Trafford comes for it. It's actually Caicedo with a header. And there as well on the line is Mateus Nunes. I think Trafford would have got back anyway. Here's Jeremy Doku, skips inside, and that's a good challenge by Cole Palmer, and he is down and looks in a lot of pain. He was perhaps caught there, and oh my goodness me. Let's hope for Cole Palmer that is just an impact knock and nothing more serious, but it looks like he fell awkwardly as well.
Yeah, it looks like a nasty one for Palmer. He's back on his feet, fortunately, but it takes a couple minutes to run off injuries like that when a player just catches you as you're falling down. But back on his feet, moving around a little bit jiggly, but I'm sure he'll be fine, Paul.
It's cleared downfield, and just comfortable header won there by Rodri, and it's picked up by Reece James, and James gives the ball across there to Hato. Hato returns it to Sanchez, who launches the ball downfield looking for Cucurella. Cucurella chests the ball down to Hato. Hato tries to set Cucurella off on his way, and the challenge by Kusanov, and is that going to be a free kick? The referee has said yes, and a yellow card is coming the way of Abdulkadir Kusanov, the Uzbekistan player, and you can see it here. He perhaps catches him pretty, yes, he catches him late, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think he's a little bit unlucky there, to be honest with you, Paul. I think he's made the same foul a couple times in this game, and the referee hasn't even penalised it, let alone given a yellow card in some instances. But yeah, it's given Chelsea a real opportunity now on this far left side.
And it's just about 7 or 8 yards in from the touchline, almost level with the Manchester City penalty area. And you can see that Chelsea are having a free kick committee here. And Manchester City have got the line back here with Kusanov, Semenyo, Haaland, all back there looking to win any balls in the air. And Reece James is going to take this one and swing this one in. João Pedro in there for Chelsea, Hato in there, Enzo Fernandez as well. Caicedo lingering around the edge of the box with intent. It comes in by Reece James. It's headed out to the edge of the area to Caicedo. Caicedo goes down. They're appealing for a penalty. Not much, but here is Fernandez. Fernandez tries to get the cross in, and now he's appealing for a handball. Don't be ridiculous.
Don't be ridiculous.
That is, how is it you can have the nerve to appeal for something like that?
It's just, I think footballers are so predisposed to at this point, aren't they? They don't even realise the ludicrousness of appealing for things like that. I mean, his arm is tucked into his side, Nico O'Reilly, turning away from the ball. I think you're just appealing for appealing's sake there, Paul.
Yeah, and I must admit, Enzo Fernandez has kind of irritated me a little bit this afternoon with some of his antics, but it's a corner for Chelsea, nevertheless. The referee, of course, not buying such a ridiculous notion. And the corner will be taken on the right-hand side by Reece James. And it's going to be outswung here. James just plays it short, actually. The header was won originally by Rodri. The cross coming in again to the back post. And coming in there at the back was Wesley Fofana. He just wasn't able to get his full head behind it. And really, based on what Chelsea have produced in this game, it's a half chance, isn't it?
It is a half chance, yeah. And I think when these opportunities come, we think back to the corner in the first half, which managed to find its way all the way back to the keeper. At least this ball managed to get into the box, but they're just not doing enough with it when these opportunities come to them, Chelsea. So, yeah, I think some substitutions are definitely in order, Paul.
Yeah, I think Chelsea need to make some changes, I think, at the moment. Now, we're almost at the hour mark, and that's typically the beginning of substitution time in most games in the top flight. Here is Doku, drops the ball back there to Mark Gahey, and City once again starting from the back in their traditional fashion. And here is Rodri, just drops the ball back here across to Bernardo Silva. Is Gahey. Gahey plays the ball forward there, looking for Doku. Doku drops the ball back midway inside the Manchester City half of the field. They're just quite happy just to knock that ball around. Kusanov plays the ball forward, looking for Semenyo. Semenyo gets a second bite at the cherry. For a moment, he almost lost it, but now Chelsea do have the ball back, and it's Caicedo. Caicedo plays the ball into the middle. The ball is played forward, looking for Cole Palmer, and that's a good interception by Kusanov once again. And I can tell you at the moment, Kusanov and his Uzbekistan cohorts, they are in the World Cup as well, and it's really great to see some of these countries. They've never qualified for the World Cup. They're going to be real interesting to watch, I think.
Definitely. Of course, you think of the expansion from 32 to 48, and it's allowed for these teams such as Uzbekistan and Curacao. There's someone who I'm excited to see. We just got a foul there. Wesley Fofana being brought down by Jeremy Doku. But yeah, it's going to be an amazing tournament, Paul. I mean, over 100 games, and what's better than international football in the summer?
Oh, not much, I can tell you. It'll be an interesting competition, and the warm-ups for Manchester City substitutions have continued. Nothing yet on the Chelsea bench. No action there. Are you surprised at that?
I am and I'm not. I think Callum McFarlane, he's dealing with a predicament at this moment where he realises that if he does take off Cucurella, for instance, he is leaving them more exposed on that left-hand side. I think Chelsea have managed so far throughout this game, but if they do take off Cucurella for, say, a Garnacho or Pedro Neto, yes, you are getting that attacking extent, but you're also leaving yourself vulnerable at the back. So I think maybe that's why he's being a bit resistant to making these substitutions, Callum McFarlane, because the scoreline's still 0-0, and Chelsea will probably be happy to take this game to extra time, Paul.
Yeah, that's probably correct, yeah. I mean, they've not really got anything else to fight for in the league, do they, really? Mateo Kovacic readying himself as there's action on the Manchester City substitutes bench. Here's Gahey. Holds the ball up there to Rodri. Rodri across to Kusanov. Kusanov plays the ball over there to Nunes. Nunes gives the ball away straight to Cucurella. Can Chelsea make something of this now? Inside the centre circle, forward to Reece James. And here is Malo Gusto. He's got Cole Palmer. Palmer holds the ball up. Cross to Gusto again. Gusto just holding back. Oh, that's a crunching challenge there by Bernardo Silva, but legal in my mind. He wins the ball first, and that's the most important thing. I remember growing up watching tackles like that. The ball is long over the top and through to the goalkeeper, James Trafford. I remember the days you see Stuart Pearce making challenges like that. Nobody batted an eyelid. Shows how far we've gone with football, doesn't it, nowadays?
Definitely. I think, was it 94 World Cup? You might have to correct me here, but I think that's when they started banning things like tackling from behind and so on. But yeah, you just need to look at Wimbledon, the Crazy Gang, and some of the challenges you used to see back in the day.
Yeah, that's when I really enjoyed top class football. Here is Cucurella. Ball out wide to João Pedro. Pedro just trying to hold the ball. Oh, nice turn. Oh, that's really great play by Pedro. Gets ahead of Nico O'Reilly too. And, sorry, not Nico O'Reilly, Mateus Nunes, but nearly finally getting away from Nunes. But Nunes was able to win the ball back. But that was a nice bit of play there by João Pedro.
It was. It's João Pedro at his best, in those tight spaces. It's ability to hold the ball up, as you mentioned earlier, and he does so well there just to get away. But Nunes, who's obviously filling in a position which he's not familiar with. He's done so well for City this season there, but he just manages to get back and prevent the opportunity there for Chelsea.
Goes back to Robert Sanchez, and the ball is played forward here to Fernandes. Enzo Fernandez. The ball is out wide there to Reece James. Here's Cucurella. He gets the ball back here, but he's in an offside position. Is Caicedo. Ackelhausen's flag up on the far side. And it's going to be a free kick to Manchester City. And looks like we're going to see the change now. It's Rodri coming off for Mateo Kovacic. Not really surprised. I mean, he's only just come back from injury, Alex.
Yeah, it was a substitution that was always going to happen at some point in this game. But I think City have been buoyed by the return of Rodri, of course. I think he just adds that stability into the midfield, which they don't necessarily get from Nico Gonzalez. I know Nico Gonzalez is the reason that they're in this final to begin with. But yeah, bringing Kovacic on instead, I think it's going to be an interesting change-up. I wonder if the formation's going to change from this, Paul.
Possibly. It's hard to say, isn't it? It's... the thinking capacity of Pep Guardiola, it seems endlessly deep. So it's very hard to predict what he's going to do next, isn't it?
Yes, always, Paul, always. Pep Roulette has ruined my weekends more times than I would like to admit, Sam.
It's Cole Palmer out wide here to Gusto. Gusto gets the cross in. Oh, James Trafford a little late getting down there. And steaming in was João Pedro. He just wasn't able to get on the end of it. But Pedro, in my mind, was getting there before Trafford if he was able to go through. Now, he claims he was impeded. I don't think you can give a penalty for that. It was questionable whether or not he was going to reach the ball. I don't think you can really give anything for that. And it's quickly dismissed by the referee.
Yeah, right decision there by Darren England. It wouldn't be a decision they would look at overturning anyway. It's just unable to get to the ball there. But Chelsea will be encouraged by that, Paul. They're getting more chances in the final third. They just need to take one of them.
Ryan Cherky now. That's good cameo by Ryan Cherky. Gives the ball to Antoine Semenyo. Back to Cherky. Space opening up for the Frenchman. He decides to play the ball out wide here to Jeremy Doku. Doku. Ball pulled back to Gahey. Gahey lifts the ball into the penalty area. Oh, well read there by Levi Colwell. And it's out wide again as City have another bite at the cherry. And it's Doku again, trying to get to the byline. Whips that cross in again. Really good defending this time by Fofana. Chelsea defending for their lives at the moment, Alex.
Yeah, a bit of sustained pressure there from City in the final third. And they'll be looking to keep this up for as long as they can keep putting that pressure on Chelsea. I do think they'll buckle eventually. But another corner for City here, Paul.
Well, you can see there's a number of the Chelsea players that were actually appealing for that on João Pedro. But again, having looked at it again, I don't think there was even enough contact for him to go down, if I'm being honest, just looking at that again. But the corner is going to be taken on the left-hand side for Manchester City. Haaland's in there, of course, no surprise there. Gahey, and of course Nico O'Reilly has scored 1 or 2 with the head as well, and it's going to be Ryan Cherky who is going to take it. and he can deliver a mean corner. Darren England has spotted some unnecessariness in the Chelsea defending. Caicedo has been advised that the camera's watching you and he ought to behave himself and keep quiet. But the corner is going to come in now by Cherki. Goes short instead this time, gives it to Doku. Doku laid back off to Cherki. Cherki crosses towards the back post, and he tries to keep the ball in play, but Sanchez read that very well and just plucked that one out of the air. And he releases the ball. He was looking for João Pedro, and Pedro just... he wasn't concentrating there, Pedro, Alex, and he just handed the ball back to Manchester City, and City can come forward again.
Yeah, here they come again now. Bernardo Silva bringing the ball down the left-hand side, and neither keeper has really been tested. I mean, James Trafford had a couple moments earlier where things looked a little bit tetchy, but both keepers haven't really been troubled, and they'll be happy with that, especially with the season that Robert Sanchez has had, where it's been inconsistent and it has led to a few errors. But City have another corner here, I believe, so we'll be hoping for more of the same.
Challenge from Marc Cucurella that time, and the corner is going to be taken from the right-hand side this time. Robert Sanchez is making sure his defence is as organised as possible. Marc Cucurella on the back line as well, and it looks like it's going to be Bernardo Silva that's going to take this one from the right hand side. City captain, it looks like he's going to in-swing this one, and he does. So not the best corner, headed away by Colwill again, and all the way back City go to James Trafford. I don't know why they do that. They have the ball in the Chelsea half of the field. I don't know why they do that. I'll never understand it if I live to be 100.
I think even Pep Guardiola, sometimes he may not be able to give you the reasoning for it, but it's that whole idea of just keeping the ball, not letting Chelsea play their football, which they really haven't had too many opportunities to do so in this half, albeit I don't know what that football would look like at the moment during their period of inconsistency. But the fact that they're approaching 70 minutes here, Paul, and the score is still 0-0, I think Callum McFarlane will be more than happy with that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think for him this is the thing for Chelsea. They can turn what has been a relatively bad season into an FA Cup winning season. So this is a big game for Chelsea. This is not... well, the FA Cup final's a big game anyway, but it's still, I think, even bigger for Chelsea because it's a chance for them to rescue their season somewhat. And I think he'll be very happy, Callum McFarlane, with what he's seen so far, as a free kick has been given on João Pedro for the initial foul, I think, on Mateo Kovacic.
But you mentioned it earlier, Paul. You spoke about how they've got nothing else to play for this season now, Chelsea. They're sitting 9th in the league. Their FA Cup one has been their one shining grace, and I think the stats from it are even more interesting. They've scored 20 goals across their FA Cup campaign and only conceded 1. So if they maintain that today and this goes to penalties, it's anyone's game.
Well, that's it. Penalties, yeah, it's really just a matter of nerves on when it comes to penalties. And here's Erling Haaland. Good ball out wide there to Bernardo Silva. City moving forward, and it comes back to Haaland. Haaland pulls the ball across, and it's brilliant play. It's turned in by Antoine Semenyo, and he backheels that ball into the net. And we have a goal on 71 minutes, and it's Manchester City, unsurprisingly, from Antoine Semenyo, who gives them the lead, and that was absolutely brilliant play by Antoine Semenyo.
Amazing, Paul. What a piece of skill, a deft touch. Just puts it past Robert Sanchez, far into the corner there. Also got to give credit to Erling Haaland. Some brilliant play to make the opportunity, Paul.
Oh, yeah, it was absolutely fantastic play by Manchester City as a whole. The build-up play was good. Bernardo Silva here, just a slide pass there. Haaland pulls the ball across. He read it so well, did Haaland. He's not just a goal scorer, provider as well. He gets the assist here, and that is a beautiful back heel, rendering Robert Sanchez no chance with that one. and that really is worthy of winning any cup tie, Alex.
You took the words right out of my mouth, Paul. A goal that is way deserving of winning the title here for City. Semenyo, who that will be a brilliant way to cap off what has been a wonderful season for him personally. 70 minutes in here, Paul. City finally have the lead.
Yeah, they do. And of course, if they can hold on, this will be their 6th FA Cup if they can hold on today. Last one in 2023. They lost 5 in the final. Like they've lost 5 finals throughout their long and tenured history as a football club. And of course, they've had some wonderful players down the years. This has not just been, I mean, I know recently City have come to be the best, but they've been the best before. I remember, well, I wasn't alive at the time, but I can remember players like Nicky Summerby, Colin Bell, players like that. As the cross comes in, Enzo Fernandez getting the touch.
Great players there, Paul. There's an opportunity. Over the bar.
Yeah, I think Enzo Fernandez just gets the touch here to try to turn the ball into the net, but it's over the crossbar. And James Trafford just seeing that ball over the crossbar. And Enzo Fernandez can't believe it. And I think we're finally going to see a change here. Pedro Neto is coming on for Chelsea. Mark Cucurella is going off. I can't honestly say I'm surprised at that, at least now with the situation being the way that it is.
Yeah, exactly that, Paul. I'm not surprised at all. He's decided to make the substitution after going 1-0 down. I think when the game was 0-0, he was fine with having Cucurella on that side, as it meant they weren't exposed and vulnerable. But now they're chasing the game and they need a goal. With that being said, Nico O'Reilly driving the ball here into the Chelsea half.
And here's Kovacic. Drops the ball out wide. And here is Doku again. He's got some time and space here. Drops the ball back to Kovacic. And now here's Kusanov. Plays the ball out wide there to Semenyo, the scorer of the goal. Good ball here to Bernardo Silva. Good play by Silva, but he's dispossessed there by Caicedo. And that's good play by Chelsea as they attempt to recover this game. And it's cleared downfield. Of course, the FA Cup will go back up north if Manchester City do hold on. First time in a couple of years for that, really. Crystal Palace winning it last year. Here is Doku. Doku tries to play the ball across there to Kovacic. Wasn't successful. And now Chelsea can come forward with Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer using a bit of pace here, but he's going to be caught by Mark Gahey, who gets across and makes a really good sliding challenge to put that ball out of play. And it's going to be a throw-in for Chelsea, which Cole Palmer is going to take. Good run by Cole Palmer.
That's what they need. That's what they need, Paul. That's what they need. They need him being direct, taking the ball into the Man City half and trying to get an opportunity. What a throw in there, but as we've seen with Chelsea, the ball's just gone back into their own half now, unfortunately. It's Doku in possession, running into their third.
Oh, he's like the Duracell bunny is Doku. He just runs and runs and runs. And what a player to have on your team. And he plays a great ball through to O'Reilly. O'Reilly pulls the ball back. He might have been better shooting, and he didn't. He pulled the ball back, and there was nobody there. And I'll get Alex's thoughts in a moment because Chelsea are coming forward on the break. And it's Yoel Hato trying to get inside here. Real chance. He goes down. Is it going to be a penalty this time? And the arms are up in the air. Hato can't believe it. Darren England says no. And we'll just have to take another look at that as we've had a third possible penalty. And now here's Enzo Fernandez. Falls over. And the sun will come out tomorrow. The cross comes in and over everybody's head. And will go out. It's picked up by Nico O'Reilly. Paul, you're so bad.
Oh, you got a giggle out of us then. The way you managed to just subtly put that in. But yeah, he's down. I'm surprised there wasn't a fourth penalty appeal, to be honest with you. But yeah, Chelsea, they will feel like they've been hard done by here with a few penalty appeals. But they've got the ball again now. Here's Palmer running once again.
Palmer gets the ball out to Gusto. Gusto, oh, a bit too much weight on that cross. It's over on the far side and picked up by Pedro Neto. Neto drops the ball back there to Hato, and here's Reece James. Wesley Fofana in an advanced position. Chelsea looking for options to try to get back into this game. They've got 13 minutes to do so before the FA Cup will be returning to the Etihad Stadium. And of course, it means a domestic double for Manchester City, which even if they don't win the league, will be considered to be a successful season, really.
Definitely. I think even under Pep Guardiola's ridiculously high standards, he would be happy with that. Aside in transition, some new players coming into the squad. Obviously, they'll be gunning for the league and hoping for the domestic treble, but I think they'll be more than happy with the double.
That's a penalty for me, looking at that replay, you know.
I think of all the ones that they've had appeals for, that's the one which has the most weight to it, so I'd agree with you, Paul.
Here is Cole Palmer, and he gets the ball out wide to Gusto. Gusto gets the cross in, it's headed up into the air. Not really far enough away, because here is Gusto again to Cole Palmer, looking for some space. There's a really good ball, and the crossing coming by Pedro. Trafford turns the ball away, a vital touch by the England goalkeeper there. And here's Doku now, just trying to break away, and he's away, is Doku. No, that's a really good challenge from Caicedo, but that was a vital touch by Trafford.
Yeah, and it all stems from some laziness from Nico O'Reilly, which we wouldn't associate with him this season, but it's kind of just a lackadaisical clearance, and it gives Gusto that opportunity to get the ball back into the area. So yeah, some sustained pressure here from Chelsea going into the final 10 minutes of the game.
And the ball is played into the penalty area. It's a chance. João Pedro goes down. He'd have been better staying off on his feet. The opportunity was there, and here's Nico O'Reilly. O'Reilly just drops the ball back to Gahey. Gahey clears the ball. City player is pulled over there. That's Doku. The foul by Caicedo, and that's going to be a free kick to Manchester City. And Doku, a little bit frustrated with that one.
Yeah, I think Caicedo is all over him there. There's really no attempt to play the ball as he just pulls him to the ground just to try and hold the play up a little bit more. But yeah, it's a free kick for Man City in their own half here.
Well, Caicedo has to be careful, because normally something like that is a yellow card, and Caicedo has already been booked.
I'm surprised that the ref decided to look on that favourably, but the ball back now into it's back with Robert Sanchez, or being played back to him at least.
And there is Prince William, still awake, I should say, excuse me. Still awake.
He is still alive, though. You're not wrong.
Yeah, still awake. I'm surprised he's still awake. I'm surprised he's not sleeping. I really am, because it has not been the greatest FA Cup final, has it?
It hasn't. No, he must be buoyed by the result for Villa last night, of course, against Liverpool in Villa Park. So he must still be riding the high of that one. And then, of course, he's obviously got the final midweek for Villa. So yeah, I'm sure he's got a lot to look forward to, even if this game has been a little bit lackluster.
Ball is with Mateus Nunes and picked up by Kovacic. Kovacic dropped back to Nunes, and João Pedro's down, and that does not look pleasant. Could be cramp, may just be cramp, but just the way he was holding the back of his leg there. But let's see here. This was... Ooh.
Yeah, he took a run at the slip and slide there, he did, Paul, and his legs just kind of landed awkwardly.
Oh, well, looks like we're taking the stoppage in play here, and you can tell that the Pep Guardiola, every time there's a break in play, he is out there, isn't he?
He is. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some substitutions such as Ruben Diaz, John Stones, Nathan Ake coming on just to try and shore up this Manchester City defence. As Chelsea have had some opportunities in the last 5 or 10 minutes, Paul.
Yeah, they have. They've come forward. They've not really done anything with it though, have they? They've final ball not been there, and City could, of course, been 2-0 up with Nico O'Reilly choosing to pass. Shooting might have been the better option, and of course it could have put the game beyond Chelsea.
It could have. I do think Oh, sorry, Paul.
Sorry, Liam Delap is coming on now for Reece James.
Yeah, that's right. And that's just Chelsea, showing their attacking intent, hoping to try and get something from the game. Obviously, James just coming back from injury. I was just going to mention that our pundit Ben, his prediction of 2-0 is still on the cards, but I'd be amazed if my 3-1 prediction was to come true at this point.
Yeah, Alex, I'm not confident about that, mate. Not confident about that.
That's all right. That's all right. I'll stick to the commentating.
All right, well, the throw-in is taken quickly by Gusto, and he gives it to Fernandez, and Fernandez gets the ball back there from Fofana and then from Gusto. The ball is long, and that is up in the air. James Trafford comes to the edge of his 18-yard box to meet that. And once again, it's really another giveaway by Chelsea. Here is Nico O'Reilly, gives the ball to Doku. Doku trying to skip away. And it's set off Nico O'Reilly. O'Reilly one-on-one with the goalkeeper, real chance. He tries to play the pass again. It's blocked this time. He was looking for the pass for Haaland. And now here's Doku, but it's another chance come begging for Manchester City. And Cherki goes down. The referee says play on. And once again, a really good shooting opportunity, really, for Nico O'Reilly. Do you think there's a confidence issue there in the shooting?
I do, and I don't think he should have the issue, Paul. But yeah, sorry, they're on the attack again here, City.
Yeah, sorry, I'll come back to you in a moment. Here is Bernardo Silva. The ball has comes across, it hits the post. And, well, Cherki trying to beat Sanchez at his near post, very nearly did it. It hit the post and bounced back out. He wasn't afraid to shoot, even though Haaland was free in the middle. That might have been better to have passed that time. Here is the cross coming in from O'Reilly again, but it's a free kick, possibly for offside. But yeah, just if you want to just finish your point again there.
Yeah, no, I think you saw two different ends of the confidence spectrum there for Manchester City. You obviously had Nico O'Reilly, who has done exceptional when getting himself in these positions. Here's an opportunity, saved by Sanchez.
Yeah, from Mateo Kovacic's shot that time. That's a really good save from Sanchez. And I should just drop this on you, Alex. You're responsible for picking the man of the match. So I don't know whether Russ told you about that or not, but he's going to want to name pretty soon because it's going to be brought up on the screen.
That's very true. That's very true. No worries. I shall have a little think, have a little ponder, and then I'm sure I'll get that over to them. But it looks like Alejandro Garnacho is finally coming on for Chelsea now, Paul.
For João Pedro, yeah, it looks like he has picked up a rather unpleasant injury. So Alejandro Garnacho is on for 85 minutes, and that is for João Pedro. Alejandro Garnacho, he's had a, well, I wouldn't call it a difficult time, but a sort of tricky start to his Chelsea career. The ball is played forward, looking for Liam Delap. That's well read, and Mark Gahey is fouled. Just your thoughts on Garnacho?
I think,
yeah,
in terms of his Chelsea tenure, Paul, I think the move in itself was embroiled in controversy and chaos going on from both the player and the club side in Chelsea. So I think when you try and marry these two things, it's always going to end up in this sort of awkward climate which you see at the moment for Garnacho. I have no doubt that the ability is there for the player, but is he in the right conditions to thrive? I don't think so. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with him. A player with immense talent, but whether or not he can utilise it in this Chelsea squad, we wait to see. Here's City again, though, Paul.
Semenyo he tried to play the ball through to Erling Haaland, and I think it just bounced off Haaland and it's broke away, but City have another chance. The ball seems to be like a magnet to the feet of these Manchester City players, and the problem is for me, when Chelsea are just giving the ball away, it's very wasteful. But here comes City still, and they're just being pressed back a little bit here now into their own half. And here's Gahey forward to Doku. Doku trying to create a bit of space for himself. Drops the ball back into his own half again. And out wide there to Nunes, and that's infield here to Cherki. Cherki out wide again, and actually that's Bernardo Silva across to Nico O'Reilly. O'Reilly plays the ball back, and it's with Semenyo again. Antoine Semenyo drops the ball back into his own half of the field. Semenyo is Bernardo Silva. Overlapping now is Semenyo in an advanced position. Semenyo, is he going to go for the byline to get the cross in? No, he drops it back to Bernardo Silva. As we are inside the last few minutes, we're going to get Alex to announce his man of the match in about 2 minutes' time. The ball is over now to Doku. Doku holds up the ball well. Oh, he goes down under the challenge there of Malo Gusto, and a free kick in a pretty dangerous position here, Alex.
Yeah, City will be more than happy with picking up this free kick here. They'll take their time on the ball, and it's been emblematic of Doku's performance this entire game and his last few games, to be honest with you. City, 88 minutes here. They're just going to let the clock play out, and they'll be more than happy with how things currently are.
Emblematic. I wish I had your way with words.
I hope it's a word. I said it with the confidence that it was, so we'll go with that. We'll go with that.
All right. It's a free kick for Manchester City, and Ryan Cherky is standing over it as we go into the last 90 seconds of the 90. City maybe just looking for that final knife in the back of Chelsea, the final moment. And the cross coming in there by Doku, and it goes behind for a goal kick. Russ has just informed us in typical Russ fashion. How does he these stats that he has? Antoine Semenyo is the first Ghanaian to score in an FA Cup final, so that's a moment for him. And we are going to give the man of the match. Go ahead, please, Alex. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Paul. So I have decided to go with Jeremy Doku for the man of the match today. It was a toss-up between the two wingers for Manchester City. As just mentioned by the fact provided by Russ, he is the first Ghanaian to score in the FA Cup final, Antoine Semenyo. But I think what Doku has done in carrying the ball forward and his dribbles on this side have brought City into the game and brought them these opportunities. Just looking at his stats so far for this game, he's attempted 11 dribbles, successfully completed 8 of them, carried the ball 24 times, with 4 of them being progressive carries. So in a game where there's not been many standout performers or exceptional moments, I think what Doku has done has been paramount to City potentially getting another FA Cup here. So Jeremy Doku is my man of the match on TCHub.
All right, so yeah, today's man of the match, as sponsored by Football Live, goes to Manchester City's number 11, Jeremy Doku. Thank you for Alex for doing that for us today, and for his great commentary, co-commentary today. We've got 5 minutes of stoppage time, and the cross comes in. The header is on there by Liam Delap, and that is a chance for Chelsea, isn't it?
It is, and that's the one player on the pitch these Chelsea players would be hoping for the opportunity to fall to. You want your striker to get these chances. And it's not an awful opportunity. It's not the easiest ball in, but he just hits it wide of the keeper. So, yeah, we've just gone into stoppage time here. 5 minutes added on. And James Trafford and City will just be running that clock down now, Paul.
Oh, yeah, James Trafford, he looks in a great hurry there, doesn't he? Just, have a little bounce of the ball. We'll walk casually over to the corner of the 6-yard box.
Yeah, I don't think he's got anywhere he needs to be, Paul. I don't think he's got anywhere he needs to be.
That's right. The ball is played up in the air, and here is Bernardo Silva to Antoine Semenyo. Semenyo, oh, body check there. That's got to be a yellow card. Casado is, now he's sarcastically applauding the official. How is he getting away with this?
If he doesn't end up with a yellow card there we go. That's it. That would have been something.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, that is crazy. But yeah, he gets a yellow card, does Casado, for that. That's
yeah, it looks like he's been given the yellow card for the sarcastic clapping and not the foul, which, I mean, that would be his 4th foul, 5th foul of this game, potentially.
Oh, yeah, it's crazy what he's gotten away with in this game.
Yeah, it seems to be the way. I've just looked. Yeah, 3 fouls he's made, and he's not even been booked for any one of them.
Well, he has now. Well, he's not for the foul, of course, but for the clapping. But that is very, very interesting. And it's. I find it a little odd, actually, when you see a tackle like that would normally go into the yellow card and a referee chooses not to give it. I mean, I do applaud Darren England for keeping his cards in his pocket. I do applaud him for that, but there are some things that you do need to get the card out for. Here is Jeremy Doku. Doku under the challenge of Garnacho. It's cleared away by Levi Colwell as time ticking down for Chelsea now. Up into the air by Wesley Fofana. And Chelsea just appear to me, Alex, to be a little short on ideas. And City are quite happy just to run the clock down now. Here is Semenyo. He's just going to stop in the corner flag, but the referee has given a throw-in for Chelsea. As we are in stoppage time, why don't you give me your assessment of the game as a whole and Manchester City's overall performance?
Thanks, Paul. Well, it's been what you would expect from a final, to be honest. Two teams who were a bit cagey in the opening few minutes, not really many opportunities in the first half. There's been a game full of penalty appeals and shouts and mild controversy, but the first bit of brilliance that we saw was when Antoine Semenyo converted a brilliant cross from Erling Haaland, a lovely back heel into the back of the net past Robert Sanchez. It's been a game of few opportunities, but Man City have taken it when it's mattered. But here's Chelsea now looking to change the narrative.
Pedro Neto just getting a shot away, but it's easily blocked. And here's Doku, good challenge by Gusto. And here's Neto again, as we are inside now, the last minute at the end of stoppage time in this game. Here is Erling Haaland now, tries to play the ball forward to Doku. That's a really good pass. Overlapping on the far side is Bernardo Silva, and he skips into the penalty area, does Cherki. This is great play by Ryan Cherki, and he plays the ball across for Haaland, and Haaland's control just let him down. How many times has a commentator been able to say that? Not many, and you can see the look of frustration on his face.
Yeah, it's brilliant work from Ryan Cherki, the way he just dances around those Chelsea defenders effortlessly. And we can see the frustration of Erling Haaland. He lets out a scream there, where 9 times out of 10, he's taken a touch and he's putting that in the back of the net, Paul.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's so rare to see. And you can see here the pass. Cherki's run here is quite brilliant. He holds the ball up well and then plays the pass across, and he's just not able to bring the ball under control. And you can see the look of frustration. And the ball goes out of play. And you can see Liam Gallagher and all the others. And that's it! It's full time! Manchester City are the 2026 FA Cup champions, completing a League Cup and FA Cup domestic double. And with still the league as a possibility, they could be looking at a treble this year. Alex, again, sorry, if you will give your opinion of Manchester City's performance today and overall the performance there of that man that's on the screen, Antoine Semenyo.
Of course, Paul, I'd be more than happy to. What a moment for Antoine Semenyo, a player who's worked his way up through the pyramid. He's through the National League, was playing for Bristol City not too long ago, did exceptional with Bournemouth, and this is the cherry on top of his season. He gets to go in the FA Cup final, a brilliant back heel, a sumptuous finish, which is just so deserving of winning any trophy. So he and Manchester City and Pep Guardiola will be more than happy with getting their domestic double here. A Carabao Cup and an FA Cup. It wasn't the most entertaining game, but what it was City doing what they had to do. They controlled the game, they controlled the tempo, and they have walked away with another trophy here. It was always going to be a tall task for Callum McFarlane and his men, but they have just fell short here, holding on for 70 minutes before that brilliant finish by Semenyo. So 1-0 to Manchester City here at Wembley. Another FA Cup for Pep Guardiola. And could that be the last trophy he wins for Manchester City?
Could be. Yes, it wasn't the best game, and mercifully we were spared extra time and the rest. But what about Chelsea's performance today? Your thoughts on that?
there was no opportunity in the game, Paul, where I thought Chelsea had a real chance at getting anything from it. There was a bit of sustained pressure where they were holding the ball just outside of the Manchester City box, but they never threatened James Trafford. They never threatened Manchester City's back line. And there was only so much that Callum McFarlane and his current crop of players could do, but there's going to have to be some big changes for Chelsea going into the summer if they want to finish higher than 9th next season.
Do you think the problem at Chelsea is this collection of young players that are not used to playing in the Premier League, that are now struggling a little bit, dealing with the physicality of the league? Because unlike Spain and Italy and Germany, where you do have some quality players and there's space and time to move with the ball, not so in the Premier League, is it? It's very tight.
No, I think that's a great assessment of what's going on with Chelsea at the moment. And I think on paper, in theory, it's a nice idea. You bring in a load of young players, you put them on 7, 8 year, 9 year contracts, and you hope for the best that they grow into the players and reach to the potential that you purchased them for. However, what you're seeing is the reality of the issues. What happens when you try and put this into practice? And yes, these players undoubtedly have the quality, but they don't have the cohesiveness that you need to play in the elite league such as Premier League. And you know, maybe in time, maybe in a few years, these players are going to grow into the players that they can be, and they'll be better equipped for dealing with the Premier League. But they need reinforcements now. They need the players who have had that quality, who have won titles, who have been there before, and they just look a bit lost at the moment, Paul.
Yeah, they do. They do actually, yes. And I think it's a devastating defeat for them today. What could have turned a bad season into something with somewhat of a really big silver lining. But thank you for your commentary today, your co-commentary. It's been a pleasure working with you, of course. We're not quite finished yet. We are going to bring you the trophy presentation. But let's just go back to Russ for a moment, and I'm sure he has some discussion points with Ben as well.
Yeah, been an honour working with you, Paul. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much there to Paul and to Alex for excellent commentary throughout the full 90 minutes of this FA Cup final in this big game today. The only goal of the game coming through Antoine Semenyo, the first Ghanaian international to win and not to win, to score in an FA Cup final. But before we bring in Ben McCarthy for his thoughts on the game today and overall, let's just look at some stats for you, Lucy, to bring you today then. So possession-wise, 56% for Manchester City's to 44 for Chelsea. There was 7 shots from Chelsea, 9 from Manchester City. Only 1 on target for Chelsea in the full 90 minutes. Man City with 4. Touches in the opposition box were 20 from Chelsea, 27 from Manchester City as well. Chelsea's goalkeeper Rob Sanchez with 4 goalkeeping saves to make. James Trafford, he could have had a deck chair out there. 0 shots to save, 0 saves he made in that one in this game today. 4 corners each for each side as well. Man City in the woodwork once, Chelsea didn't in the woodwork at all today. Total passes to tell you about, and I'll give you the pass accuracy percentage as well for both of these two sides as well. Chelsea with 417 total passes to Manchester City's 541, and a pass accuracy of 83.7% for Chelsea and 86.9% for Manchester City. What's been a fantastic game of football in the second half compared to what it was in the first half. But before we talk about the goal, the winning moment, Chelsea, although they had a penalty in the second half when Jan Lato went down, for me, I've seen them in the category of seeing them given. But Ben, what did you make to that penalty shout when Jan Lato went down for Chelsea in the second half?
Again, I agree with you there, Russ. You've seen them given, and has it been given on the field? Would it have been overturned? Again, you don't know, and you're not exactly sure. But I feel like the game was kind of fulfilled with decisions or instances like those where, they could have been penalties, there could have been a red card. It was just one of those games. I wouldn't say Darren England made any egregious decision whatsoever. I thought he had a relatively good control of the match, but we talked about it earlier on in terms of the quality of both sides, and in our pre-match predictions I said I think City will just have that extra edge, and that's what Antoine Semenyo delivered. An absolutely delicious winning goal. And yeah, a scruffy game at times, a bit of a frenzy, but City showing their quality when it counted.
Absolutely, Ben. Absolutely. And you just alluded to there, Antoine Semenyo's goal. Fantastic goal for him. The first Ghanaian to scoring in FA Cup final as well. And what a moment for him, and what a moment for Manchester City to earn him to score that goal, because not many people were probably, if City were to get the winning goal, they probably weren't looking at him to actually score it, but we're looking at him for the attempts for off target, to create it. But a fantastic goal from Semenyo, one which is richly deserved, from coming up through the ranks to get into to get the winning goal today as well. Yeah,
I mean, Bournemouth will have seen the best of Antoine Semenyo, and there's a reason why Manchester City didn't play a part in what they wanted to achieve, and we saw it in that game. I wouldn't say he was absolutely everywhere on the pitch today, but sometimes quality players just need that one moment, and in a game that didn't really offer all that much in terms of quality, when you can be the man who delivers it, then that is the difference between maybe an average player in this cup final and those who will be remembered. And Antoine Semenyo will be remembered with this cup final because of that absolutely fantastic flick.
Absolutely fantastic goal from Antoine Semenyo. We'll bring Ben back in a few moments' time, as I can see a shot of the Chelsea players and coaching staff making their way up to the Royal Box to go and get their runners-up medals for this afternoon's game in the FA Cup final against Manchester City. To have, without further ado, before we bring more reaction to the game, let's bring back in your commentary team of Alex Peters, but first, Paul James.
Thanks, Ross. Yes, the Chelsea players just making their way up to the Royal Box to be given their medals by Prince William, and you can see the disappointment in those Chelsea players' faces, Alex. It's been a tough end to what has been a very, very tough season.
Definitely, Paul. It would have always been a tall order to come out and win here today, but yeah, that disappointment, hopefully it ends this season. They'll go into next season hoping to start with a fresh slate. And yeah, the disappointment is all round there. You can see it on the players' faces. Nobody likes to lose a final, and nobody likes to walk for your runners-up medal.
No, that's true. I see in many cases now runners-up players, actually, they put the medal on the players now, like over the neck of the players, but then they just take them off. And I think I see that quite a bit, and it's almost a sign, isn't it, that that's not what they wanted. But you can see these Chelsea players, a lot of them young players, as we spoke about earlier on, they're going to feel this throughout their career, and they'll maybe be better players as a consequence.
Yeah, that's a great point to make. Either losses like these can either set you back as a player, or you can learn to build from them. And I hope that's the case for the majority of this Chelsea squad. As you mentioned, it's a young team of players. So for them to build from this moment is going to be pivotal in their careers. And they've more than got the time to recover from this and come back. And Callum McFarlane, wherever he goes next as well, this experience in itself, managing at Wembley in an FA Cup final, you can only grow from it, Paul.
Absolutely. I mean, it's not likely he's going to be given the job, of course. And I think for Chelsea, with all of this experimentation that's been going on, it needs to stop. They need to get in somebody who is a proven winning manager if they want this team to be successful. Because right now, they do look lost, if I'm being perfectly honest. And you can see the look on Casado's face, who looks far from pleased. And they're just having their hands shaken there. There's Thomas Tuchel up there as well. As the medals are being handed. In fact, they're not even putting them round the players' necks. They just hand them now. And I can see why.
Change.
Oh, it is, but then I can see why, because they know they're just going to take them off. We saw it at the Club World Cup with Paris Saint-Germain. It's a disappointment of losing. Players will not look at this as a piece of silverware. They will look at this as a sign of failure. Now, I'm not sure that that's really the best way to look at it. I think this is a learning opportunity, but that's not the way the players will see it, and we know that.
We do, yeah. It's a tough one, as nobody likes to finish second, but then when you look at it in the grander context of things, you think about the amount of teams that enter the FA Cup every season, and of every team that competed in the competition this season, Chelsea on paper were the second best, as they came second they lost out in the final, of course. But that's one way to look at it. But the Chelsea players won't be looking at it from that perspective at all. They'll be looking at it the perspective that's a missed opportunity to win some more silverware. It's given Manchester City another trophy to their already incredible trophy cabinet. And yeah, Chelsea players, you would hope that they build from this and they don't let it set them back.
Well, I've always been a firm belief that you learn more from losing than you do from winning. But those players will take this in their stride and they'll move on. As for Manchester City, they're just waiting for the opportunity to go up the stairs to collect their winners' medals and collect that coveted old trophy, the FA Cup. There it is.
It's a long old walk, isn't it, Paul? It's a long old walk.
It is, especially after playing 90 minutes of football.
That's it. Last thing you want to do is walk uphill.
Yeah, as a member of the armed forces, puts the FA Cup on the table, salutes Prince William, and Manchester City are now making their way up the stairs. And you can see Pep Guardiola there with Bernardo Silva. People will look at it as being another day at the office for Manchester City. I wonder whether the feeling is any different. But 107 stairs to the Royal Box. As they
That's a great stat.
It is, isn't it? And I have to give Nick credit for that. I didn't know that.
Just seen that. Yeah, thanks, Nick.
Yeah.
107 stairs. They'll give you more than enough time to think about the 90 minutes you've just played. And I can't imagine it would have been a nice walk for those Chelsea players. And then you got to walk back down them, so you get double the amount of time to think about what went wrong.
Yeah, I would be tired going up those stairs without playing football. Up they go now. Pep Guardiola greeting the fans. And alongside, just behind him, is Bernardo Silva, and you see the players just also giving high fives to the fans. Obviously, that's very nice. Shaking some hands there, and the Manchester City players delighted. They look very happy. There's still an opportunity for them to win the league if Arsenal slip up as well, isn't there? It's could be a domestic treble.
It could be. I'm just watching the conversation between Pep and Bernardo Silva and Rodri here, the Spanish-Portuguese conglomerate, and it'll be so interesting to see what Pep Guardiola does with the Bernardo Silva-sized hole in his team. Another great performance today from the midfielder. And yeah, it's just going to be interesting to see what Pep does with the side, if he's even there next season, Paul.
Well, that's it. That's still up in the air right now, but we'll wait and see. Pep seems to be leading the way as well, and that's unusual for a manager. Normally it's the captain first up, but anyway, Pep Guardiola shaking the hands of the dignitaries, including the England manager and His Royal Highness Prince William. And in this case, they will put the medals, I think, around the necks of the players. And starting with Pep Guardiola, shaking a hand from Prince William, a word of congratulations and Pep expressing his respect to His Royal Highness, and you can see now the medals now being put around the necks of the Manchester City players, as they will wait to be given the FA Cup, as 2026 means the Cup returns to Manchester and to the north. Spending last year at Crystal Palace, which was a huge shock result, wasn't it? I covered the final last year. It was a much better game, I have to say. But at the same time, City found themselves runners-up there, and there was some controversy involving Dean Henderson and Erling Haaland from that, if I remember correctly.
Yes, there was. And yeah, City will be happy that they've managed to recover from that FA Cup final defeat of last season. There's no better way to correct it than coming back and winning the FA Cup the very next season. But yeah, speaking of Palace, they've gone from strength to strength, even with losing the players that they have. Mark Gay, who's receiving a winner's medal right now, being one of them.
Yeah, you can see the players just lining up. John Stones, second to the back there, was recently compared to Bobby Moore, which is quite a comparison. It's an honour, which I think John Stones could hardly believe, but he does possess some of the qualities that Bobby Moore did have.
Well, yeah, if he helps England win the World Cup this summer, I'll call John Stones whatever he wants to be called, to be honest with you, Paul. Like, it's quite the comparison, and yeah, I'm sure that John Stones would be chuffed with that one. But in terms of being a great centre-back for England, that's something that both of them have definitely shared. And it's nice to see John Stones getting a piece of silverware before leaving Manchester City this summer.
Yes, and he's about to be handed the FA Cup. Bernardo Silva and Manchester City lining up on the top of that walkway. And Chelsea players, well, they do the usual respectful thing and stay and wait and watch. But Bernardo Silva is just waiting to be presented the trophy. He's going to hand it with John Stones. He's going to, in fact, hand John Stones with it as well. And that's a beautiful sentiment by Bernardo Silva. And Manchester City lift the FA Cup for 2026. It's another trophy in the many, many trophies that Manchester City have picked up under Pep Guardiola. They celebrate and take the cup to Manchester, and the FA Cup once again returns to the north, and he now hands it over to, I'm just trying to see who that is. That looks like Mateus Nunes. The clap there, that really was a beautiful sentiment, wasn't it, Alex? Allowing John Stones to lift the trophy with him.
Definitely, Paul. Wonderful sentiment, and it's nice to see that unity in the Manchester City squad. John Stones, Bernardo Silva, both leaving in the summer, having that opportunity to lift another trophy for City. And all you could say is that it's well-deserved. Erling Haaland here, who provided the assist, his first assist in a final or semi-final for Manchester City, and it's ended up with them getting another trophy. So they'll be more than happy with that, Paul.
Well, the cup is passed to Erling Haaland, who has really lifted Manchester City to a lot of these competitions. His goal-scoring ability, we discussed him earlier on in the game, Alex, just how effective he actually is at almost everything he does. And he's almost inhuman, isn't he?
He is. There has been many claims of him being a robot over the years, especially with some of the records that he's managed to break in such a short amount of time. But it was great what we saw from him today, Paul, because we're so used to seeing that relentless goal-scoring streak from him. But what he did was he created the space and he managed to get that ball in for what was eventually a wonderful finish from Antoine Semenyo.
Yes, it was. That was a goal worthy of winning any final. Well, we're going to hand back to Russ now. And thank you very much for joining us today for this FA Cup final. It's been a pleasure having you along. And from Alex and myself, we'll hand you back to Ross.
Thank you very much there to Paul and to Alex for excellent coverage on the commentary hub this season from the FA Cup. And What a fantastic moment to see there that Manchester City were crown winners, in like Paul and Alex mentioned, that both Bernardo Silva and John Stones lifting the coverage of the trophy at the end of the FA Cup final. Just before we do wrap up this evening, I've got a total number of trophies that Pep Guardiola has won here in Manchester City. He has won 20 trophies in total, 6 Premier Leagues, 1 Champions League, 3 FA Cups, 5 League Cups, 3 Community Shields, 1 UEFA Super Cup, and 1 Club World Cup trophy in Manchester City. If this is to be Pep Guardiola's last season at Manchester City, Ben, what a trophy. What a time to end with another trophy. 20 trophies. Can't ask for any more than that, can you?
Well, I guess rationality and possibly history doesn't, but I think it's beyond what's been achieved with those 20 trophies. It's the way they've done it on the pitch. After the first season of Guardiola's reign at City, the calls were his methods were outdated or weren't suited to English football, and pretty much every step of the way he's had an answer to his critics. And yes, criticism has been deserved at points, but at the end of the day, as you said there, 20 trophies in 10 years. This time last year, they just lost the FA Cup final. They'd had a very tough Premier League season, the toughest in the Spaniards' tenure at the Etihad. This season, regardless of what they achieve in the Premier League, he's going to walk away from the 2025-26 campaign with 2 trophies, 2 domestic trophies, and on any scale, that is a successful season, and that is real progress compared to last season, which looked to be Pep's nadir in his time at City. So no, it's a culmination of everything he's achieved. And you look towards Semenyo, who was obviously instrumental in the win in terms of scoring the goal, but ultimately he's had players throughout the last 10 years who have stepped up for him, and he's brought the best out in them. And there's many ways you can assess his legacy at Manchester City, and this is just one more way.
Absolutely, Ben. Absolutely fantastic way to sum up there of Pep Guardiola's time at Manchester City, if this is to be the end of his tenure here. Just before we do wrap up this evening, just to let people know, we will be unable to bring you any Premier League coverage tomorrow and the following weekend due to other commitments of our commentary team here at the Commentary Hub. And I do want to say a big thank you to everybody who's contributed to the channel in the FA Cup this season, throughout and including the 2 semi-finals which we witnessed, and obviously the final today as well. We will be bringing you a game next weekend from the EFL League One playoffs. We're back at Wembley Stadium, where it is Bolton Wanderers against Stockport County in the League One playoff final. Kick-off is at 1 o'clock next week, and we're unable to bring you the Premier League final day coverage straight after that. But we'll be bringing you a League One playoff final here on the commentary next week. Bolton Wanderers taking on Stockport County back at Wembley Stadium. Make sure you join us for that one. But before we do go, just want to turn our attention back to today's game and back to one of today's opponents, teams in the FA Cup final, and that is Chelsea. There's reports saying that they're very close to bringing in Xabi Alonso, who was by Leverkusen manager before he went to Real Madrid, and probably didn't have the best of times at Real Madrid. Just want to ask you, Ben, on this one, do you think if he comes into Chelsea, it could be a good appointment for them after Liam was senior, or do you feel they should have gone with someone with a bit more experience in managing, and say someone who's managed in the Premier League before as the next appointment? What do you think about that one?
I think on paper, Xabi Alonso is a fantastic appointment. I think in terms of managerial qualities, he'll bring a lot. Will he be able to exercise them though? I feel like Enzo Maresca, what brought him down at Stamford Bridge was his dissatisfaction with the freedom that he had. And Xabi Alonso isn't going to walk into Stamford Bridge, or rumoured to be walking into Stamford Bridge, just playing second fiddle to someone else's approach. He's going to want to achieve his own success in his own way. So brilliant to have him if they do indeed get him. but can they use every ounce of his potential? That is what worries me from a Chelsea perspective, and it's been the case for the last 4 years, I would say, since the new ownership.
Yes, absolutely, Ben, absolutely. I probably would have to agree with you there. And well, thank you for your input as always as your debut here on the commentary. Hope you've enjoyed debut. Thanks to you for being part of our FA Cup final coverage today. Big thank you to Nick as well for the producing behind the scenes, as well with the player of the match and all the graphics that you've seen on our screens this afternoon as well. Big thank you to Paul James and Alex Peters for their coverage of the FA Cup final. Obviously, Alex covered the semi-final between Chelsea and Leeds. Paul did the other one between Manchester City and Southampton. So good to have you both with us on the channel for that FA Cup. Excuse me. The FA Cup coverage this season. The other commentators that we've had on the FA Cup coverage this season, we thank you as well. But for myself, Russ Vernon, Paul James, Nicholas Jones, Alex Peters, Ben McCarthy, and the rest of the team here at the commentary, we thank you very much for listening, and we hope to see you next Sunday, the 24th of May, in the League One playoff final. But for myself, Russ, and the rest of the team here, is thank you very much for listening, and we bid you all a good night.